ago for a country that doesn't exist anymore. He never even played in a World Cup final, yet he still, more often than not, comes out on the top of ranking lists. In 1958, the Soviet Union lost 2-0 to Brazil in the group stage, but without a 28-year-old Yashin who'd stopped a rampant Pelé from scoring, the scoreline would have been embarrassing. He was key again in a draw against England, which helped the Soviets into the knockouts. They would eventually lose to the host Sweden, but many considered Yashin to be the reason they got as far as they did. He was revered at home, and his club form was out of this world. In the 4 seasons between 58 and 62, he hit a 1-in-2 clean sheet ratio almost every season. That is insane. By comparison, in the 4 years to 1966, Gordon Banks was closer to 1-in-4. All of that made his dramatic flop in 62 that much more shocking. He conceded 4 in a group game to Colombia, including the only World Cup goal ever conceded directly from a corner. They were knocked out by Chile, and so shocked was Chile's winning goal scorer, Eladio Rojas, that he hugged Yashin in celebration. Back home, Yashin was blamed for everything. He was the scapegoat. After bricks through his window and messages left on his car, he considered packing it in. But he kept going. And in 66, the return to form of the man they called the Black Spider was lauded. After his team finished 4th, Yashin was given the Order of Lenin, the Soviet Union's highest civilian honour. All of that is why today, the best keeper in the world gets the Yashin Award. That's right. These modern-day greats stand on the shoulders of that Soviet giant.
Good morning, it's 3 minutes past 6 o'clock. A belter outside, isn't it? Thursday, July the 9th. This is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Gabby, Agbonlahor and Arnold Clark. Perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. Morning, Gab.
Morning, Jeff. How are we, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right. I was looking at the temperatures last night in London, you know, and sort of 1 o'clock in the morning, it's 23, 24 degrees, yeah.
Incredible. I'm not complaining, though. Walking over there, the weather's lovely, isn't it? If you're waking up, you've got scorcher ahead of you.
This time in the morning it is. So did you take your seat in the Borough Market grandstand?
No, I didn't. No, do you know what? No, I didn't yesterday. I watched a bit of it in the room, Jeff. I was flaking yesterday, I can't lie. I was flaking. Not the greatest sleep this week, but
no.
What a performance, mate.
Oh, incredible, wasn't it?
Wasn't it? 3 sets.
Yeah.
See you later.
When he just absolutely battered him,
I know.
You know? This is the 9th seed, the world number 10.
Can he go all the way?
Your logic says no. Just basically on world rankings. You know, he plays the 2nd seed, Zverev now, you know.
He's a good player, isn't it? French Open winner.
He's a good player, you know, but...
Never say never.
No, and fair, he's got so much self-belief, hasn't he?
He's got the crowd
behind him.
Yep.
So he's got a lot of things going for him. It's been an absolutely amazing fortnight from him. He's now the British number 1.
Is he? Good.
Yeah.
So he should be.
Rocketed up from 114 to 36 in the world rankings.
Might wake others up. No. He might wake some of the others up and say, come on.
Well, he'll be an inspiration, won't he?
Yeah,
You'd imagine,
exactly.
to other people. And talking of inspirations, by the way, from one English star dominating on the world stage to another, well, he hasn't been dominating, but he certainly hit the headlines, and that's Dan Burn.
Yes.
Will he play a part in this weekend's game against Norway? We shall see. Well, he's been talking to talkSPORT's Faye Carruthers. He was asked if his World Cup debut coming at the Azteca was something he ever dreamed of.
No, I think it's hard. Like, people say, oh, like, was that everything you dreamed of? And it's like, well, you didn't really, like, I couldn't even have that dream. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you were a kid, so it was, yeah, it was special. Like, I knew the history behind it and stuff, but even listening to, like, the Mexican national anthem, like, you could hear, like, 80,000 Mexicans sing that, so it was, yeah, special. And then, obviously, the way the game went with the penalties and the sending off and all that, it was, yeah, great game.
Jeff Stelling has also said he thinks you should start against Norway because of what you've done against Erling Haaland in the past. I think he's only scored 1 goal past you, is that right?
Yeah, I don't want to jinx it, but yeah, 1 goal. I do enjoy playing against Erling purely just from a physical point of view. Like, I quite like that sort of physical battle, and I get on well with him on the pitch. Like, we do get on quite well, although you'd have to ask him if he thinks the same thing. But yeah, like, if I'm asked to do that, I'd be more than ready and more than happy to do that. But obviously I also know that we've got sort of 4 other centre-halves, who are also top quality players and have played this whole tournament because of that too. So
I've seen a picture of you both grappling and it didn't look like you were friends. I'm not going to...
Yeah, I was going to say it might be different between England and Norway, but between Newcastle and City it wasn't maybe as fierce as this could be.
Well, what a World Cup it's been for him already, and he's only been involved in one of the games. I think a lot of people were surprised he was in the squad in the first place, Gabby. Not many people expected him to play. When he was called on, and boy, he delivered.
Yeah, I think most people thought Harry Maguire should have been in it, maybe other defenders, and what part was he going to play? But I think when you've got 26 players, Thomas Tuchel thought to himself, I'm going to need a big centre-half that's got to come on in games and see it out, or if you need a goal in the last 5 minutes, maybe bring on a Dan Burn, like Harry Maguire's done in the past. And he's proved his selection, right, hasn't he, already? Even if he doesn't kick another ball this World Cup, what he's done in that 20 minutes he was on the pitch was fantastic. And I agree with you, there's every chance that he does have some part to play. Does he start? Maybe. But if not, maybe it's similar to Mexico where he comes on late on, really to stop Haaland, save Haaland's getting joy through the game, maybe to change that Thomas Tuchel looks at in the second half.
We talk about inspirational sporting figures, and look at Arthur Ferry, and maybe he can be an example to motivate others. Dan Burns, rejected basically as a kid, as a footballer, working as a shelf stacker in Asda, took a drop in salary to join Darlington as his first sort of professional club.
But Jeff, I speak to so many parents sometimes that they'll ask me, can you speak to my son? He's been let go at 10 and he's disappointed, or he's been let go at 12. And my same advice is give an example of players that have been let go by the big clubs. They've gone down maybe to the lower leagues and they've built themselves back up and they've been signed by the big clubs. There's always disappointment in life. There's always rejection. Someone doesn't fancy you. Look at Elise, look at Eze. There's so many examples you can give. But if you just keep faith in your ability, then look what you can do. Look at Dan Burn.
Yeah.
In 15 years' time, 20 years' time, played at the Azteca at the World Cup.
Incredible, isn't it? I mean, I'd love to hear from you who your inspirational figures in the world of sport have been, who they are at the moment. Dan Burn, of course, he'll be back at St James's Park after the World Cup. Bruno Guimaraes, he might not be. Goodness me, what is going on at Newcastle?
I feel for Newcastle, mate. I feel for the fans, Jeff, as well, because they'll have similar frustrations as Villa fans do, and I'm not going to go into detail on that again. People are bored of talking about it, probably, but Tonali leaving after Isak left, and now Guimaraes wanting to leave as well. Your captain, your probably best player, you'd say. But can you blame him after everyone's starting to leave? He's probably looking at next season thinking, no European football, we're losing our best players every season. What's happening with this football club? Can the owners come out and explain what's going on? Do they want to sell up? Are they going to keep investing in this football club? But if Arsenal do get him, wow. Rice and Guimaraes, wow. Wow. What a midfield.
Rice and Guimaraes is great. So whose place did he take then? Is he taking Odegaard's place? Is he?
Oh, there's whispers Odegaard might be leaving. I don't know if they're true, but I think he 100% starters in that midfield. But then you got so many options. You got 2 midfielders and Odegaard or Eze can play there.
Yeah.
But maybe some Villa fans are looking at this and saying, maybe they've moved away from Rodgers and they're moving on to other targets, which would be nice.
Well, that's possible. But just from a Newcastle, look, you lose Isak, get that. Hard to swallow, but understand. You lose Anthony Gordon, you lose Sandro Tonali, can take all of those things. But losing Bruno Guimaraes, he is the heartbeat of the football club. He's the talisman. He's a man who gives 100% every single game. It's when things are going wrong in a match, he is the man every Newcastle fan looks to. It's a sort of dagger in the heart.
It's the worst possible news. Even for Eddie Howe, Jeff, he must be thinking like, okay, this isn't what I signed up for. And Newcastle fans have been teased, really, Jeff. They've been teased with this investment. They probably thought it was going to be similar to when Chelsea and Abramovich come in, and they have Glenn Johnson, they've got Damien Duff, they've got, remember, getting Crespo, Kesman, all these players. And now they're probably thinking, okay, we can't do that because of the rules. We can't invest like we thought we could do. And if Newcastle finish top 10 next season, probably a great season.
Yeah.
That's having not kicked on after winning that Carabao Cup. That might even be tough for them. But
well, we're 12th this season, and then, losing key players are not really adding too much to the squad.
No, European football will help a little bit, won't it? But I agree. You can't lose two of your best midfielders. Yeah. You can't, Jeff.
I think Dan Burn's going to have a big season next season. He's got plenty of work to do, I would imagine.
And also, Jeff, we know what the fans are like in Newcastle. They won't be happy.
No.
If they start off poorly, they will vent their frustrations at that ownership.
Yeah, I mean, and I know all the big stories are that Guimaraes is going to Arsenal. Arsenal are yet to make a sort of formal approach. I've heard a little whisper, Gabby, that Tottenham could be interested.
Yeah, why not? It's one concert, isn't it? It'll be interesting, though, if we could do it again. When we was in Newcastle at the stadium, we had one of the chief executives of Newcastle who was on the show, and I'm sure his quote was, after we find it, so in the next 3, 4, 5 years, winning the Premier League. Be interesting to get him back on and see if he still thinks that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, England fans, who would you pick in defence to stop Haaland on Saturday? We heard from Dan Burn. We heard a great deal more from during the course of the show. Has he got a chance to start? And bearing in mind his record against Haaland, 8 appearances for Newcastle, only 1 goal conceded. That was in his first clash against the big Norwegian. 7 times since then he's played and stopped Haaland. Would you choose him? We're taking your calls this morning. 03717 223344. Come and have your say. A reminder that England against Norway live on talkSPORT this Saturday with a spot in the semi-finals up for grabs. I'd love to hear your sporting inspirations as well. Who are the figures who over the years have inspired you to better things, whether in life or in sport? It's 6:13. Coming up, we will turn our attentions to the back pages. We're talking transfers. Obviously, we've just touched on Bruno Guimaraes. Manchester United being linked with Andres Santos of Chelsea. Manchester United fans, what do you think of that?
Management inside out. Tuchel might just be the 1% difference.
He might well be, but what I'm saying
between winning it and not winning it.
I need to make this really clear. I am not questioning or doing him down. I'm trying to give you a balanced view of how I see management.
Yeah.
He hasn't done it yet. You only ever judged on what you end up winning, not whether you could have won it. Brendan Rodgers, apart from the slip, would have possibly, very nearly could have won the Premier League.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But they don't judge him on the fact that as if he did win it, he did win it.
Until England do it.
That's all I'm saying. And I want him to win it. I want the country to win the World Cup.
But the bottom line is this, and we will never know if Tuchel had been in charge of England at Wembley that night, in the European final against Italy. You have ended up winning it? I was
there, by the way. I was there. You know, you
changed it. So Simon's point is right, is it not, Sean?
The whole world is watching. Even the most.
If you change it and you lose, right? You didn't know what you're doing.
Change
it and you win.
No,
you do know what
make
you're
a decision.
That is the life.
No. You make a decision. Well, we all know you live and die by decisions. But when something's coming on top and the whole world's watching it and going, we need to change something. We need to change something. We need to change something. Okay, we haven't changed something. They've scored. Now we're going to change something. They've scored. Now it's easy to be a Monday night quarterback. We all know that, right? But the bottom line is that my inherent belief is the reasons why there's elite managers and there's the reason why there's good managers. Right?
None of us have ever had a bad game in here. Simple as that. Not a bad game.
See, we're not football
when you're on the sidelines, and you're under the pressure.
Oh, he's coming alive now, Mr. Dyke.
That's when the truth is. Really.
But Tuchel will only be judged by when those moments come.
Yes.
They haven't come. They haven't come against Ghana.
Which is fair. That's exactly fair.
But when they do come, I'm willing to bet you that Tuchel's credentials and the elite gene that I think that he has, which is the reasons why he's managed PSG, Bayern Munich. Yeah, it's a mentality. It's a mentality. Of course,
elite gene.
Maybe some bloody stupid.
I've got a ginger gene.
Well, yeah, you've got me.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Good morning, 18 minutes past 6. It's Thursday, July the 9th. This is the World Cup Breakfast Show with me, Stelling and Gabby Agbonlahor. A massive Hollywood birthday today. The music's the clue. Tom Hanks.
Oh, what a legend.
70 today.
What a legend. Met him once. Meant to be a Villa fan, isn't he? I'm not too sure about that, though. When we saw him on a tour, I took a picture of him. Starstruck when I saw him.
Is that why you like him?
Yeah. And maybe some of his great films.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Forrest Gump loved by many.
Yes.
And if they ever do decide to remake it, I'm sure they will one day. We've got just the right person to take on the lead role.
Honestly. My mama always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. I had run for 3 years, 2 months, 14 days, and 16 hours. Lieutenant Dan got me invested in some kind of fruit company. So then I got a call from him saying, we don't have to worry about money no more. And I said, that's good, one less thing. Mama always had a way of explaining things so I could understand them. Stupid is as stupid does.
Wow.
We won't get them.
What a performance, Gabby.
Those 20 seconds are important on this show, Jeff. We won't get them back. How dare they waste time on such an important show?
You got a favourite Tom Hanks film, then?
It's just too many.
Yeah. One thing I love
Saving
about Tom
Private
Hanks
Ryan, and Green Mile, I watched the other day again. I love that film.
Yeah. He does, the thing is, I think movies come from all over the sort of movie spectrum, if you like. You know, things like Saving Private Ryan, I'd go right to the other end because I'm absolutely sloppy and soft. So I'd be looking at Sleepless in Seattle. You've got Mail. And in between all of that, Philadelphia was, groundbreaking in many respects.
Has he done a bad film? Has he done a bad film?
I'm sure he must have, but, It's hard to conjure one up.
Yeah,
right.
Incredible actor.
Yeah. Dave's a Man United fan in Manchester. He says, Andre Santos, I like him. He's young with lots of potential and no shame of not getting into the Chelsea team ahead of Caicedo and Enzo. Starting prices for midfielders these days seems to be at least 80 million. So relatively speaking, it's a decent price. I'm not absolutely convinced. Are you, Gabs?
No, I'm not at all. No, I'm not seeing him have a good game. I'm not watching him and thought, what's he good at? What's his standout attributes? I'm not seeing that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a Chelsea side who were having an absolutely miserable season last season, and he could not nail down a starting
Sometimes
place.
I look at that transfer and I think, okay, who are Manchester United buying? I mean, who are Chelsea buying for Manchester United?
Yeah.
Is this one of those transfers where you see maybe Rashford go in this summer window to Chelsea? Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Look, he's young enough to prove us completely wrong as well, isn't he? What is he, 22, something like that, Andre Santos, at the moment? We shall see. Deal yet to go through, of course. Time now to look at the back pages with Costa Express.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Freshly ground Costa coffee for a quality day.
And Laura Kirk-Francis is with us. Hi, Laura.
Morning.
Something funny when you was walking in?
My face hurts from laughing. That's the first time I've heard that, actually. One of your best performances. I
You
think.
like it?
Yeah. Really good. Very convincing. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I was thinking, oh, wow, this is talkSPORT.
Yeah.
Are we on a movie set?
Well, you know.
You ought to hear some of his other stuff.
Yeah. I'm not sure I do.
That was when I first started and they told, can you do this? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I can't say what I say to them.
Oh, I mean, a piece of advice I was given before you go on air: don't do impressions and don't sing.
Yeah,
So,
I use it against you.
Yeah,
Always.
there we go.
Yeah, we had a major debate about that. I did a Friday morning 2 or 3 weeks ago, and what's the little feature? Finish the tune or whatever it is you've got to sing. I'm like, oh man. And Shaban and we had a small disagreement, you know. She was saying, you are going to sing. And when Shaban tells you are going to sing, generally speaking, you would sing. But you heard my voice, you knew why I was resistant.
Yeah, no singing from me today. But we are singing the praises of Arthur Ferry on the back pages today. Lots and lots of praise for him. Heart of a Giant in the Daily Mail. The Times have gone with a win beyond his wildest dreams. The Sun, Ferry's a volley good fellow. The Daily Express and lots of the papers actually with the picture, the final moment when he falls to his knees, feet in the air, head over heels, and then The Guardian, Wimbledon's fairy tale. Absolutely
some rotten headlines there, aren't there?
Yeah.
Blimey, what happened to good sub-editors?
Ferry's a volley good fellow is probably that's right at the bottom there for me. But Jeff, you must have enjoyed this yesterday. A really nice underdog story, would you say? One of the best sort of British underdog stories you've seen?
Well, absolutely. And he was sensational, and British tennis definitely has a new star. The interesting thing for me is one of these things, if you look at his background and things, this is a boy who was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. But you wouldn't guess that because he is a street fighter.
Yes.
You know, so yeah, it has been absolutely wonderful. And when I was watching the match, it's 5-love in the third, and it turns out final set. And there's a break of ends, a change of ends. And he's sitting on his chair, and I'm thinking, what is going through his mind right now? Here I am, centre court Wimbledon, and one game away from a semi-final, you know, having arrived as a wild card. I mean, you know, having arrived as a no-hoper.
Yes.
To be brutally honest. I just wondered what he was thinking then. It was wonderful.
Yeah, he said in his post-match interview that he has taken some inspiration from Emma Raducanu, which I think is interesting. He's speaking specifically about her in the final of the US Open, of course.
Yeah.
And basically just playing the man or the woman in front of you, not the occasion. So he's probably trying to keep it cool, but you can see the emotion that comes out when he wins. Can he go all the way, Gabby?
Oh, well... It's going to be very difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, so he faces Zverev in the next semi-final today, and then one of Sinner or Djokovic.
What's a lot of the games from Zverev in the French Open, and he was incredible, like power. But why not? I mean, no one thought you'd get this far. Why not? He's got the crowd on his side. He knows how to use the crowd, like Greg Witetsky said yesterday. He's got every chance.
Every chance, yeah.
Getting brilliantly well suited to grass, obviously.
Exactly.
You know, and 5'9". Goodness me.
Don't have to be tall in this life, Jeff.
Yeah, well, absolutely not. It's encouragement for people like me who...
Exactly.
I barely stand 5 feet.
What a story, though.
Yeah, no, it's been brilliant. Whatever happens, whatever happens now, you know, he is a household name in British sport forevermore.
Here come the sponsors.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, he goes to at least number 36 in the world as well, so he's jumped massively up.
He jumped above Cameron Norrie as British number 1 now.
There you go, yeah. Over back to domestic football, lots of transfer news. Bruno Guimaraes, of course, to Arsenal. Guimaraes tells Toon, I want to join Arsenal. In the Daily Mail, the Mirror, let me join the Gunners. But lots of reaction to Andre Santos. You just made your thoughts pretty clear on that one, Gabby.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
50 million, I think it is, to Man United. If you're the player, though, and we're trying to understand the decision-making of the player, why make this move? What do you think is going through his head that says, right, this is what?
He was never going to
play time, basically. Yeah.
Like you got Casado and Fernandes. They're always going to play in front of you. Manchester United crying out for a midfielder like him. I just said to Jeff, the Edison deal is not over the line yet, so that's not confirmed. Maybe Manchester United are pulling out of that. So for him, it's a fantastic move. And
You'd be worried if you're a Man United fan. They finished in the top 3 last season. They got Michael Carrick in permanent charge. This is the time when Champions League football. Man United fan wants to see them kick on. Now, you know...
they're trying, aren't they? But, like, Anderson and Fernandes, they've been, like, priced out of it.
This is Manchester United. They shouldn't be priced out of it.
Have they learned their lesson?
Andre Santos, 13 starts for Chelsea. Look, Chelsea were rotten last season, and he couldn't get a
Have they learned their lesson? Are they allowing Spurs to go and go for these players, the big bucks that maybe don't deserve it as much? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, if you're a Man United fan, you want to see your side spending £100 million on Sandro Tonali rather than £50 million on Andre Santos.
I agree, but then there's Tonali. Look at the wages he's probably getting now. If Manchester United are probably thinking, we want to sort our wage structure out, how can we give Tonali maybe similar money to a Bruno Fernandes? Other players get upset. I don't know. That's what probably they're thinking. But I agree as a fan, I want to see Anderson. I want to see Tonali. I want to see all these players coming in. We've got Champions League football now.
You want to see Bruno Guimaraes at Old Trafford?
Of course you do, 100%.
Good signing for Arsenal, though, Bruno G.
I think it'll be an outstanding signing.
Yeah.
I rate him highly. I'm not sure about his penalties, especially one in the World Cup. Dreadful, but top player. And what does that mean for Zubimendi? That's another midfielder coming in.
I mean, Zubimendi was played into the ground last year, so I think it's someone to give him a bit of rest. Hopefully Arsenal in the pre-season are all going to be practicing their penalties, though, so Bruno can join that training drill as well.
It's a brilliant signing, and he's 100% week in, week out.
They need him more than they need Rodgers. I mean, you don't need Rodgers.
Don't need Rodgers or don't want to lose Rodgers, I think, is that one.
Yeah, lose him, please.
Yeah,
that's what we got.
Look, it's not done yet, and Newcastle fans will... I was going to say maybe they'll be hoping they keep him, but after the Alexander Isak saga, maybe they're just resigned to losing him. They don't want to go through all that again, do they? And still end up losing the player.
80 million maybe is fair, do you reckon?
Yeah, there's obviously a gap to bridge, isn't it? Because Newcastle have been talking 100 million, Arsenal have been talking 60 million, so...
80 is fair, I think.
Yeah.
28, is he? Maybe.
He's, 28, nearly 29.
Yeah.
If they get Guimaraes, then is it a done deal? They win the title next season?
I think without him they do. I really do. But when you bring in a player like Guimaraes and whoever else they're going to spend money on, they've got to win the Champions League.
Yeah.
I think it's a very good signing for now. I'm not going to respond to that. You're trying to wind me up. I think it's a very good signing to solidify, because he is 28, nearly 29. It's a signing for someone who wants to go and win big stuff coming into the end of their career, and I think it's a one for now.
Down though, didn't he, before he went to Newcastle?
Yeah, look how that turned out. So you've learned your lesson.
Oh, he did turn Arsenal down, didn't he? There was a bit of like frostiness, wasn't there, with the players on the pitch and the fans? But now he's come running back.
Laura, thanks very much indeed. And that was thanks to Costa Express. Coming up, we'll get the Arsenal fans' perspective on just how big a signing Bruno Guimaraes would be. I think we just had the Arsenal perspective, to be honest. Newcastle fans, if you want to have your say on your summer so far, it's a worrying one. 03717 223344 is the number to call.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT. Sponsored by Costa Express. Freshly ground Costa coffee for a quality day.
I can't believe they're moaning about losing.
No, you're right.
They're moaning about the decisions, and I've seen all the interviews after the game. And can someone remind them that they were winning 2-0? Yeah. Like, you've only got
what is their? I mean, the goal that wasn't given, and it was at 1-0 at the time. What an unbelievable goal! It was one of the best goals you'll see in the World Cup. Team goal down that right hand side, and I think who was it that was fouled? Was it Martinez that was fouled? I can't remember.
It was over in the far corner.
It was in the far corner. Anyway, whoever it was, right? He does step on his toes.
Do you think you should go back to it?
I think the fact that Argentina didn't actually regain possession of the ball and it was a continuous attack, I think on that occasion, I think it's fair. I think it's a foul.
I know, but like so much has to happen.
Yeah, but
still so much has to happen. He skipped past 3 Argentina players. Like
nutmegged one
of them. And you kind of look at it and go, hold on a minute, right? All right, that is a foul over in the corner. But he's run the length of the pitch, skipped past 3 Argentina players who can't make a tackle. And then they put one across the box and they score. And you go, hold on a minute, you've had 3 opportunities to win the ball back.
Yeah, they have. It was poor.
So how much advantage do you want?
Well, there's no law.
Maybe if you skip 1 tackle. He's run the length of the pitch. Yeah, come on. I don't
hear
know how that's fair.
Do you know what?
I have got an issue with it.
Do you know what? I absolutely hear you loud and clear, but we both agree it's a foul.
Yeah, okay, but then Argentina might as well just stop playing.
Yeah, well, you can't because the foul's not given.
I know, but if they believe it's a foul and the VAR are going to go all the way back to it, Argentina might as well just stop and go,
I don't know.
Can't score, it don't matter because it's going to go back.
What was
he's gone past 3 players.
Unbelievable run. That's one.
It's one of the most infamous moments in World Cup history. Zidane's headbutt on Marco Materazzi in the 2006 final sent shockwaves through the footballing world. It wasn't a particularly ill-tempered final. Argentinian ref Horacio Elizondo had only shown 3 yellow cards until this point in extra time. Zidane and Materazzi had been the main protagonists of the match so far. Materazzi committed the foul for the penalty, which Zidane scored after 7 minutes. Then 12 minutes later, Materazzi equalised from a corner. Materazzi said in the 2020 interview he was asked at half-time to man-mark Zidane. So they'd been literally rubbing each other up the wrong way for more than an hour before the tension boiled over in extra time. Some reports suggested Materazzi had insulted Zidane's mother, but he successfully refuted that in a libel case 2 years later. According to the Italian, Zidane started it with a little insult, saying, "I'll give you my shirt later." Then he responded by saying, "I'd rather have your sister than your shirt." And Zidane switched. In 2022, he said, "I'm not at all proud of what I did, but it's part of my past." But would he apologise? To his teammates and fans, yes. But to Materazzi? I'd rather die.
Non, je ne regrette rien.
Morning, this is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Gabby Agbonlahor and Arnold Clark. Browse the UK's best used car deals and score your dream car today. Check out their website for more details. Now, the latest episode of How to Win the World Cup is live on the talkSPORT YouTube channel and, of course, all your providers as well. Matt Ford is alongside former USA goalkeeper Brad Friedel and comedian Chloe Petts to unpack the round of 16 and look ahead to the quarterfinals, including England's clash with Norway. Matt revealed during the show that he was responsible for leaking the story of Keir Starmer's involvement in keeping England's kickoff time against Mexico to 1 a.m.
One of this week's winners, Keir Starmer. The outgoing Prime Minister obviously needed a victory, and we're going to give it to him. He reportedly played a big role ensuring England's clash with Mexico remained in the kickoff slot that it did, acting via diplomatic channels to ensure it was done without a fuss and showing how political intervention should be done. And I can reveal on this podcast, actually, it was me that asked him this question. I was at Downing Street the other night for a reception marking the 48th anniversary of the NHS, and I just sort of asked him, I didn't realise there were reporters there. And I just said, is it true you got involved with FIFA? And he said, yeah, England had said they didn't want the kickoff time moved, partly for the fans, partly for the players. So they picked up the phone to FIFA, and there was someone from the Press Association there that overheard. And then on the way out, someone said, did he say that to you? I said, yeah. So there you go.
Did you ask him about whether he's going to get Jarrell Quance's red card overturned?
I did not ask him that. I didn't want to push my luck.
Yeah, well, of course it was down to Keir Starmer. Of course it was. Saturday, much more respectful. 10 p.m. kickoff, weather permitting. A lot of scare stories around about the temperature as well. It's probably going to be hotter in England than it is in the States, you would imagine. But look, what are your plans for Saturday then?
I'm at that SI warehouse.
Oh, right.
Aston Villa. Looking forward to that, Jeff. Brilliant venue. Looking forward to hopefully celebrate another win with a lot of England fans. What about yourself?
I'll be watching it at home. Probably just with my wife and daughter, but yeah, I'm sure maybe one of my sons might turn up as well. You know, I sort of quite like watching with not too many people. Don't want too many distractions.
Yes,
and I don't want beer on my head either.
Really?
No.
I don't get that.
Yeah.
Keep your beer in your hand and drink it.
Yeah, absolutely. England against Norway, 10 p.m. this Saturday, live on talkSPORT, of course. And right throughout the week, we're building up to that massive quarterfinal. talkSPORT have £26,000 as part of that, up for grabs. That's right, £26,000 in cash, tax-free. Is it coming home? Well, that £26,000 could be. If you enter, head to talksportwin.com and do it right now. But now, this man is all over the back pages.
And then it comes to Bruno Guimaraes! Brilliant hit into the corner, past the despairing dive of Vicario. It's a goal that's been coming. It's a goal that Newcastle deserved.
Yeah, Bruno Guimaraes apparently on his way to Arsenal. And Gabby, I don't want to, let go your secrets, but you think that he wants to move to London because London is the place to be.
I think that's a little part of it. He wants to come to Arsenal to win trophies. He's seen Arsenal, we just won the Premier League. They got to the Champions League final. We're going to win more trophies now at Arsenal than you are at Newcastle. Sold Tonali last season, sold Isak. Gordon's gone as well. Who's next? Is it Barnes? So I understand a reason why he's moving, but I do think like a little part of it, at least come to the capital city.
No.
Look, one of the best cities in the world.
Trophies and money, I can have that. But swapping Newcastle for London? Are you crazy?
I think a lot of people would prefer to live in London, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
With its sort of overflowing rubbish on the street, it's impossible to get around. You look at Newcastle and the beauty of it, the Theatre Royal and the architecture of Grey Street and the Grey Monument. You've got everything you've got the big market, for goodness sake. You've got the race course. Hadrian's Wall is just outside the city as well. I mean, it's a dream venue. It is one of Europe's great cities. So I don't think he's moving. Yeah.
Maybe.
He goes to Arsenal. What's he going to do? Live in the Holloway Road?
Why not?
Why not? How many reasons do you want? Apologies for anybody who lives in the Holloway Road, by the way. This is not the best part of town, is it?
But London is... People do love living in London. There's different parts of London as well. On the outskirts, there's so many nice places to live. So I'm sure if you ask the Arsenal players, do they enjoy living where they live?
How many Arsenal players do you think live in London? Or do they all live outside of London?
Even the outskirts. To me, the outskirts is still like London to me. I know it's not like...
You think Birmingham's the outskirts of London, don't you?
But if you ask Arsenal players, they prefer, are they happy living on the outskirts of London? I'm sure they will.
Yeah, I think most of them wouldn't live in London, I'll be brutally honest with you.
Yeah.
So, look, anyway... It looks like he's going there. Not done by any means. There's a huge gap in reported amounts that Arsenal are willing to pay and Newcastle want. Let's get an Arsenal perspective on it. Let's cross stateside and bring in content creator, big Arsenal fan, of course, Joel Bayer. Morning, Joel.
Loves London, don't you, Joel? Morning, mate.
Gabby. Morning, Jeff. Oh, my gosh, I'm so glad you're back, Jeff. That Andy Goldstein guy was driving me mad. The real deal's back. Let's do it.
Yeah. Hey, look. Bruno Guimaraes, I'm sure you'd love to have him. Looks like there's a big gap in valuations, though, at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, 28 years old, 60 million. I mean, the prices for me nowadays are crazy, but then at the same time, it's not my money. The only reason why I am concerned is because I want to make sure that there's enough in the pot for us to go out and get whoever else that we might want, you know. I still feel like we need someone on the left-hand side, and we feel like we need someone up front. I was doing a bit of research just to fill in the talkSPORT audience. I mean, you know, 25-26 season, 9 goals, 7 assists in 41 matches. It's okay. Maybe he'll improve better in an Arsenal side that have got the ball more, etc. Even during the World Cup, despite him missing the crucial penalty, he did have 4 assists. So that was, you know, that's really good. Wages, don't really care about wages. The club will make it back via shirt sales and the 7 kit drops that we do per year. So good personality, good someone that can partner Declan Rice in the middle. I'm all right with it. I just want to see big marquee signings. I don't want that to be the marquee signing.
I'm with you, Joel. I feel like 60 million, but I feel like if Newcastle don't need to sell him, you know, you're going to have to up that maybe to 80 million, but he's for the here and now, isn't he? Guimaraes, he wants to win now. He wants to come and maybe win a Champions League, try and win the Premier League again next season. 1 in 5 he's got, hasn't he, his Premier League time at Newcastle goals. And I think he scores more in a better team because when you got Declan Rice beside you and other players, I think he's going to score more goals.
Yeah, I hope you're right. And you can see that our players were getting fatigued. I mean, if you look at, you know, even though Declan Rice is having a good World Cup, it's no secret that there were some matches where there was a bit of a struggle. I think Declan plays way too much. He's too important to play that many games. You can see Zubimendi was tired at the end of last season. So we do need fresh legs there. I'll tell you what, I would love to see Ethan Nwaneri back, Gabby. I think he's untapped. Yeah, there is, man. Like, I think with the amount of games that we play... Okay. Yeah, but we, you know, like when it came to the end of last year, we were playing an injured Saka. Like if there's that many players, why are we playing injured players like that? Why did Declan Rice play every single game? Like to me, it didn't really make sense.
I don't think he fancied Norgard because like the ex-Brentford captain come in, he didn't play enough football. Is he a player that maybe goes out because he doesn't fancy him? Does he? Didn't play much.
But I think you're spot on. But I think if that's the case, move him on quickly.
Yes.
I don't want to see any fringe players in the squad because as far as I'm concerned, you know, you guys said it earlier on, Xabi Alonso, first day in training, I think Chelsea are going to be stronger. I think United are going to be stronger. I don't know about City, if I'm honest with you, but they've still got good players. Liverpool will come back stronger. So we don't have time to dilly-dally around, man. Get the stuff done ASAP.
Yeah, but I think you're underestimating Bruno Guimaraes. I mean, you can look at the figures and say, yeah, not brilliantly impressive, but every Newcastle fan will tell you he's the heartbeat of their team.
That's Newcastle, though, Jeff. Jeff, we're not Newcastle United.
Oh,
right?
Joe, don't be arrogant. Do not be arrogant, pal.
What do you mean not be arrogant? We're Premier League champions.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I don't want him at the club.
Yeah, you're Premier League champions now. You're Premier League champions now. Let's come on in 12 months' time and find out if you're going to say the same thing if you're not Premier League champions then.
Jeff, of course we're Premier League champions. We just won it a few months ago. Come on, you know?
Yeah.
So you got to give us a bit of time. What I'm saying is, good player, but I don't want him to be the marquee signing. If he is the marquee signing, I'm going to be upset.
Well, I tell you what, Joe, shouldn't you be worried? You're talking about marquee signings. Aren't you concerned about financial fair play? Or the equivalent of as it is now? And you busting the rules.
Get rid of everyone you need to get rid of to make it happen. Because if you're spending 60 mil on a player, then that means people need to go as well, right? Get rid of... We've just spoken about Norgard. If you don't like him, get rid of
Trossard,
him.
Gabriel Jesus.
We're hearing Trossard. Get rid of all of them. You know, to be fair, I do like Trossard. And if it was up to me, I'd get rid of Martinelli instead. But get rid of who you need to get rid of, then we can start talking business. But this better not be the marquee signing.
I do the marquee signing, but I agree that Arsenal need a left winger. Do you know what I mean? Don't spend 80 million on Guimaraes and then you can't afford to go and buy, like, if Barcola's available, for instance, Joel, and he's worth 100. You know, you need a top left winger, don't you, on that side?
100%. And that's what I want to see. I want to see someone. Look, the reality is if Marcus Rashford was available at a good price, I would probably go for him. As long as, you know, it doesn't unbalance the team, because he's a great player. And the reason why I say unbalance the team is because, you know, you heard of the stuff at United before, how he was over there when things weren't going his way or things were a bit down. So I think it would be a good move for us to go in there and get him. Yeah. You know, he knows what he's doing. He scores goals, really good on the ball. He can play the Arsenal way. He's just won La Liga. I would go for him. You know, if Barcola's not available, I would go for him. But I want to see something on that side.
Joel, I know that, you know, deep down you're just embarrassed by the fact that Spurs are spending more money than you. Thanks very much indeed, mate.
Thank you for coming back, Jeff. Make sure Andy doesn't. Bye-bye.
Cheers, Joel.
Content creator, big Arsenal fan, Joel Bayer there. Now,
and people say that's why they don't like Arsenal fans. And, say no more.
Yeah. Yeah, wait, I scratch my head when he says, you know, Bruno Guimaraes not a big enough signing for them, for God's sake. Still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Manage your Travis Perkins trade account online at travisperkins.co.uk or via the Travis Perkins app.
Yes, the World Cup finals, quarterfinals, begin today. Best game of the four, if you take England aside, in my opinion, as France take on Morocco. It's live on talkSPORT. We are joined for 2 hours in the studio by the 1998 World Cup winner Manu Petit. And that was our breakfast preview with our friends at Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Get free next day track delivery. Head to travisperkins.co.uk or download the app.
Egyptians afterwards were shouting "fix."
No,
not for me.
I was confused. All the outrage.
Yeah,
I don't think it was 2 fouls that they're saying weren't given. I don't think they were fouls.
No, I didn't.
McAllister on the heads and then the Salah one. I didn't think they were both fouls. I feel like the Sandro Martinez, there was 2 fouls. There was a shirt pull, but it was more for me. If you look at it closely, it gets caught on his right, like sort of Achilles.
Yeah,
so there was like 2 fouls on Sandro Martinez.
From a footballing perspective, you didn't want that Egyptian goal to be ruled out because it was brilliant. But I saw why it was. I thought the McAllister, contact was fleeting with the Egyptian inside the box. Was nowhere near the ball either.
Salah either.
And Salah was
like
Salah was looking for it.
Exactly.
Don't blame him, but I thought he was looking for it. And Egypt should look at themselves. They're 2-0 up. Yeah. They're 11 or 12 minutes away. Well, a bit more than that with added time. They had an unbelievable opportunity.
Yeah.
And they just...
You've got to hang on, haven't you?
Grasp it.
I'm sorry, though, Jeff. Like, watching the game, mate, this is the difference when people try and compare Messi and Ronaldo. It's not about Ronaldo, but in one of his quietest games, he still turns up, Lionel Messi. Yeah. Very quiet first half. When his country, his nation needs him, forget about the penalty miss. Anyone can miss penalties. He turned up, gets on the ball, gets the first assist for Romero. And then if you look at the second goal, Jeff, he's literally, I've seen the close-up clip, he's screaming for the ball, give it me, crosses one, blocked, cross.
Get
ready to get that winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. This summer, talkSPORT is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of talkSPORT Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
Good morning, this is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Gabby Agbonlahor. Joel Bayer, having lit the blue touch paper, has retired to a safe distance. He's away in the States just as well. Tom, the Arsenal fan, says, Joel Bayer, what a donkey. Mentions about being unhappy with Bruno Guimaraes being a marquee signing, and then says he wants Rashford. You couldn't make it up. Bruno's a proper team player stroke captain. He'll push the standards. Rashford plays for himself and never, ever works hard enough out of possession. Rashford will be a disastrous signing for Arsenal's style of play. Dan, who's a Liverpool fan, says, this Joel Rashford would fit the Arsenal way. Also, they've never once been linked with Bradley Barcola. As Gabby said, no wonder no one respects them, and there are plenty more like that as well. Headlines this Thursday morning: Manchester United have agreed a £50 million deal with Chelsea for their Brazilian midfielder Andre Santos. British wildcard Arthur Ferry plays the French Open champion Alexander Zverev in the semi-finals at Wimbledon tomorrow. The German braced for a one-sided crowd. He said, I know that 99% of the people will be cheering for him. I think it's probably more than 99% actually, Alexander, but we'll see. And Declan Rice, Mark Gay and Reece James all missed England training yesterday ahead of the quarter-final against Norway on Saturday, which of course is live on talkSPORT. So how will the players be feeling ahead of the game? Former England defender Kyle Walker joined kick-off last night and offered his advice to the players as they enter the last phases of the tournament.
I think in everything, you have to enjoy it. I've had the privilege, obviously, of playing at Manchester City and winning a lot of trophies. And getting over the line the first time is always the hardest. Of course it is, because you're in uncharted territory that you don't know. But I think with now the squad that we've got and with the players that we've got in that squad, you know, there's a lot of Premier League winners there, there's Champions League winners there, and there's winners that I look around when we probably got there in Russia in 2016 that we didn't really have. Now, there's no excuses now. We need to enjoy the game of football. We're all there for a reason, and that's because we love the game of football. So, but keep your feet on the ground. You're only as good as your last game. We had a very good game, but that game's gone now. We're facing a different opponent with a different skill set, and we need to just make sure that we go and attack this game like we did that. Don't have the handbrake on. Don't be silly, but, you know, go and express yourself and show what good footballers you are.
And I wonder just how much inspiration, how much belief they took for the win in Mexico in their own backyard.
They have to. I mean, if they don't, then there's issues there. But I look at that squad of players. Look, even that video we saw of Stones pretending to be injured. The togetherness of that squad of players, the manager, his passion on the sideline, and I think we beat Norway. I mean, it's going to be a difficult game, but I think Harry Kane, Bellingham, the same faces will step up, and fingers crossed, Pickford has a good game, and the defence can stop the attack of Norway. But definitely take inspiration, Jeff, because that was some result against Mexico.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Let's stick with England and cross over to Miami right now, which is, of course, where England play Norway on Saturday. And join talkSPORT's Adrian Durham and former England defender Stuart Pearce, who in between beers on South Beach, tough life, have decided to send us their World Cup awards.
Jeff,
Gabby, welcome to Miami. Couple of awards we need to give, and England Player of the Tournament so far is the first one that we need to award. So who are you giving that to?
I'd probably, with all the speculation going into the tournament, will he start at number 10? Will he not start at number 10? Bellingham, I'd have to go with. I think his goals as well. He's on 4 tournament goals at this moment in time. He for me, would be the one.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. There's been contenders though, but he has been. He just gives everything so much quality to what he does as well, becoming a real leader. And he's still so young, 50 plus caps, and still so young.
Incredible achievement.
It really is. Surprise player of the tournament for you?
He's a big hitter, but Elise, you know, I saw him do good things at Palace, then go on to Bayern Munich. But I think what he's doing at this moment in time for the French is quite incredible.
I'd say the Norway keeper, for me, has been absolutely. There's a number of players. The Cape Verde keeper, brilliant as well. But there's a load of contenders for that. Is there a team that's actually disappointed you at this World Cup?
I'd have to say it's Uruguay. I mean, the group they're in looks more than capable of them getting out of it. They've not even got out of the group. They've really disappointed me. I expected them to go, I wouldn't say deep in the tournament, but certainly get out of the group.
I heard people say pre-tournament that Brazil might win it, and I thought that's going to be tricky because I didn't think they had too many goals in the side, especially now they left João Pedro at home. So I think that it's not a surprise to me that they've not done well, but I think it's been a big disappointment that Brazil, with all their history, have failed at this World Cup.
Yeah, I am right with Adrian. I didn't fancy Brazil one jot. Who else has been disappointing?
I think Uruguay, definitely. The problems with Bielsa, I mean, they need to sort that out. They need to make a change there. But I think Brazil are the standout ones because even the games that they won, even the Scotland game, they weren't great, was they? And when you got Thiago, who started the first game, didn't play much afterwards, had a fantastic season. When you go from Romario and Ronaldo, and you go to, no offence to Richarlison in previous tournaments, and then to Thiago, they really are crying out for a top number 9 Brazil because Vinicius Jr. was poor. Neymar looked like he was a 40-year-old playing at a World Cup. Ryan, young player, didn't perform. So, I think Brazil have got a lot of work to do. And I'm here to stick in by Ancelotti, aren't they?
I don't know. I mean, I think that's going to be, a debate that will go on because I think Brazilian football fans were very hurt.
Who's the next Casemiro?
What's happened?
I mean, you need someone with legs in that midfield, don't you, Jeff?
Oh, they do indeed, yeah.
Right
I mean,
back.
For me, Portugal, massive disappointment.
Yeah.
And Germany, disappointments, but exactly as I anticipated they would
Germany,
be. Who's England's player of the tournament? Would he go with Bellingham?
Bellingham, definitely. Harry Kane, some important goals. Pickford's been great as well, but I think every game, when we've needed him, he's turned up for us. Big goals, important. Big personality as well. I'll have to go with Bellingham.
Yeah, I just make a case for Kane because, you talk about when he's been needed against Congo, for example. Boy, did we need him, and boy, did Harry Kane deliver. But it is hard to argue against Bellingham, who's been brilliant.
You can pick both.
As well.
Let's pick both.
Yeah,
why not?
Absolutely. For more England build-up, check out the World Cup Daily podcast. But up next, we'll bring you everything you need to know ahead of the World Cup quarterfinals, all live on talkSPORT. And up next, we'll focus on which game is most likely to bring us an upset.
Rate your free wind-up merchants on talkSPORT. Who are the top 3? I would say you've now took the crown. It used to be Durham.
Right.
Durham was the wind-up merchant king of talkSPORT, wasn't he? You are now number 1. You do realise that, right?
I don't wind people up.
What do you mean?
Okay, what have I done recently?
You wore a Mexican outfit and done Has Anyone Seen Mexico? And guacamole and pinatas and
There was no
You
mix.
can't tell me you're not a wind-up merchant.
Not Jay.
You've got.
No, I get a bad rap, mate.
What do you mean? You've got a cowboy hat on.
No. I do get a bad rap, though.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's. I'm going to remind you of another one.
Go on.
Every time Scotland played, you had the other team's jersey on.
Yeah, that was bad luck. That was really bad luck on my part.
That bad luck was it?
Yeah. So they played Haiti, right? The first game they played Haiti. I said to the bosses, I'm going to put my hand in this bag and I'm going to pull out a shirt. The first shirt pulled out happened to be the day before they played Haiti shirt. So I've got to go through with it. Next one was the Morocco. Well, I told you, mate, I spilled tea all over my coffee or whatever it was.
So you don't think you're a wind-up merchant?
No, I'm just unlucky.
What about the Ange mask?
What about it?
Well, I'm just giving you examples of you winding people up.
Well, how's wearing an angel mask winding people up? Who's getting wound up with that? Some of those are bad luck. Some of those I've had some cruel luck, mate. That coffee incident, mate. What can I do? Yeah. And now the Brazil shirt. What do you want me to do? I had to wear something. Can't come in here naked. The only shirt I could find was Brazil. I don't know what to say. I mean, just pull.
Few people win the World Cup as a player. Very few people win the World Cup as a manager. Only 3 men in history have done both. One of them is Didier Deschamps. I mean, what a team. For our younger viewers, that's Zidane, Desailly, Leboeuf, Thuram. I could go on. And in 1998, those legends were captained by Didier Deschamps. Before that tournament, Deschamps had been winning league titles and Champions Leagues with Marseille and Juventus and had led Les Bleus since 1996. They hadn't even qualified for the World Cups in 1990 and 94, but Deschamps had spearheaded the Renaissance. It culminated in that final against Brazil. The 30-year-old playing at the base of midfield was keen to get stuck in. Fais-le savoir que tu es là, French for let him know you're there, according to Google Translate. Zidane and Petit got the glory, but Deschamps controlled the game before lifting the trophy into the Parisian night sky. After winning the Euros 2 years later, he hung up his boots and jumped into management. He had spells in club football before, in 2012, being put in charge of his nation. France scraped into the 2014 World Cup via the playoffs and were pretty pleased about it. Even a quarter-final defeat couldn't dampen the optimism. The tables, French fans believed, were starting to turn. They were runners-up to Portugal in their own Euros, but that silver medal around the manager's neck was about to change colour. In 2018, World Cup magic. France handed an almighty beatdown to Croatia, and Deschamps got his hands on this for a second time. It meant that he joined Brazil's Mario Zagallo and Germany's Franz Beckenbauer as the only men to have won the World Cup as a player and manager. France's victory even turned their president, Emmanuel Macron, into a meme. He still made me laugh, honestly. Deschamps went close to defending the title in 2022, but some guy called Lionel Messi had his own storyline to complete. Deschamps captained legends, he managed legends, and his World Cup achievements are legendary. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give this guy his flowers.
Morning, it's almost 7:05. It is Thursday, July the 9th. This is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Gabby, Agbonlahor and Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. You can check it out online. On the way for you this morning, you'll hear more from our exclusive interview with England's Dan Burn, as well as from a former boss of his, long before the glitz and glamour of a World Cup. You can give us a call this morning, 03717 223344. Would you start Dan Burn against Erling Haaland on Saturday? Just one goal conceded by the Newcastle defender in 8 appearances against the Manchester City striker. We'll also be joined live in the studio for 2 hours by Emmanuel Petit, and also for 15 minutes after 9 by the legendary physicist, Professor Brian Cox. Not my strong suit, that, Gabby, is it yours?
No, not at all, mate, as you would have guessed.
Yeah. Well, I was going to leave that interview to you, to be absolutely honest, mate. Right, time to round up all the latest tournament action with Burger King.
The Breakfast Briefing on talkSPORT with Burger King Burger Buddies. Total tournament satisfaction delivered by the experts. Order now on the BK app.
So we're at the World Cup quarter-final stage. All 4 matches to come between tonight and Sunday, and all live on talkSPORT.
You'll always remember where you were listening. You will always remember what you hear.
Mbappe, 25 yards out! Arise, Kylian Mbappe!
To be here to see that is special.
And Unahi tucks it away, and Morocco are surely going through. Here's the chance, and there's the goal for Spain from Mikel Merino. And Romelu Lukaku, super sub again. A wonderful performance by Belgium.
Harry, your country needs you here. You've got to put this away. Right footed, he has!
We're in an iconic stadium, and this has been an iconic match.
What a famous day!
Back to Erling Haaland, left-footed shot! He's picked up the corner!
I'm proud. I'm proud of my country.
It is in! It is 2-2! It is Messi! This is the spirit of World Cup winners. So Fernandes! Oh yeah! And Vargas does it, and Switzerland roll on to their first World Cup quarter-final in 72 years.
Yeah, France against Morocco. What a game that is. Kicks the action off in the last 8. It's a 9 o'clock kickoff tonight in Boston. Friday at 8, Spain against Belgium in LA. Saturday 10, Norway against England in Miami, of course. And then 2 a.m. Sunday morning, Argentina against Switzerland live from Kansas.
Only 10 days left. How sad. How sad. What are we going to do?
We'll go on holiday, Gabby. That's what we'll do.
And what football holiday? That's what I want to do.
And then the new season, the new domestic season is just around the corner. It's been a brilliant World Cup so far as Europe is concerned. Yes. 6 of the 8 teams are from Europe. It's almost unheard of, especially in a tournament abroad. And that's despite the best efforts of Donald Trump and Gianni Infantino.
We heard that a lot, didn't we, before the tournament? You know, it's not looking good for the European teams to win it in America. It's not. If you look at the stats, not many have done it, but it's looking like, you know, it could be a France or England.
Which is brilliant. I think the part of it, we have to look further afield than just Europe. The part of it is because the South American sides are so much weaker than they have been.
Yeah. The gap. Brazil, not very good. Look at Uruguay. Like Stuart Pearce says. Incredible. Some of the players that they've got as well, Jeff, to not get out of the group. But, yeah, shame that there's not maybe more African teams as well, the way they played in this tournament. But the European teams that are in it, credit to Switzerland as well, Norway. But Switzerland, how far they've got, experienced bunch of players, that'll make it difficult for Argentina, Jeff.
Yeah.
They really will.
Well, look, defensively, they're brilliantly organised, aren't they? And, of course, Granit Xhaka is a proper leader out there. So, look, European domination in North America. 6 of the 8 teams in the quarterfinals are from Europe. Let's get a view on this from European football expert Kevin Hatchard. Morning, Kev.
Morning, Kev.
How are we?
Morning, mate.
Yeah, we're really good. Look, I mean, there have been 1 or 2 European disappointments. Germany, the Netherlands, Portugal falling by the wayside. Maybe Belgium being a little bit fortunate. But what a tournament it has been for European sides, when a lot of people were predicting that maybe they would struggle in the States.
Yeah, I think the conditions were expected to be a really big problem for a lot of those European sides. Be interested to see what happens with Norway, England, and Miami, because that's expected to be very cloying conditions, very difficult to deal with. But I think teams have been smart, and I think obviously, sports science preparation has improved, and everything is done for these players to kind of get them ready for these games. And I think some of the big hitters have really come to play and found their A game. I mean, you look at France, they have looked really so far. What I was really impressed with them is the way that Paraguay, as we expected, came with aggression. France smiled their way through it and dealt with it really well. And Kylian Mbappe said, look, they expected us to turn up in tuxedos and play tippy-tappy football. And actually, we showed that we could match them. So that was very impressive. I think you look at England, I think the way that they dealt with playing one of the co-hosts in the Azteca, I thought was phenomenal. And I thought was kind of underlined Thomas Tuchel's squad selection and the ideas that he had, that he would have players for specific situations. You mentioned Dan Burn, being able to bring him on and repel all of those crosses. That made a big difference. Been massively impressed with Norway. My concern about them, I guess, going into the tournament was we knew about Haaland, we knew about Ødegaard, we knew about some of the star players they have. Could the supporting cast deliver? Could Erjan Nieland, who's not even first-choice goalkeeper for Sevilla, could he really step up and deliver? And he has. He has. The centre-backs have. Midfield, they've looked strong. So, yeah, Norway have really lived up to the billing that a lot of people gave them, which was dark horses ahead of the tournament.
Kev, I'm looking forward to the game tonight, France versus Morocco. If there's two teams that know each other very well, it's these two teams, isn't it? Hakimi will know either Doué or Barcola, where he's playing against very well. Also, looking forward to the midfield clash with Bouadi and maybe Tchouameni.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. Tchouameni, they're hoping, will be fit, but if he's not, Manu Kone, I thought, played really well against Paraguay. Loads of energy. He's come on leaps and bounds from the player I saw a lot with Borussia Mönchengladbach. You wondered if he was ever going to be able to make that leap, and he's done it with Roma, and now he's done it with France. And of course, this is a repeat of that semi-final from 4 years ago, where Morocco had an incredible run and then just fell a bit short against France. I suspect that's what's going to happen again. I think Morocco have done really well. I think with Brahim Diaz coming in, he's just added that extra dimension, especially with Hakimi on that right-hand side. He's just unlocked Hakimi even more, I think, on that right-hand side. So Luca Digne at left-back, or Theo Hernandez, if that's the way they go, has got a really important job, because that's where a lot of the attacks are going to come for Morocco. I think losing Saibari is really big for them, though, because he's such a threat through the middle. He's had a really good tournament, but him being injured, I think, is a real blow. And I just think France are going to have a little bit too much for them.
Yes.
Looking forward to that one. And then on Friday night, it's Spain against Belgium, Kevin. For me, Spain haven't really shown their true colours as yet, albeit that they haven't conceded a goal, which 12 months ago they were conceding 2s and 3s left, right and centre.
There's an element of them playing within themselves and maybe kind of trying to pace themselves. They nearly did that to a fault against Portugal, because that went a lot deeper than I think they would have liked. And Bruno Fernandes put that shot into the side netting, so it could have been very different. They haven't conceded a goal. Kubasi and Laporte alongside him have played well. They've controlled games. I think there is another gear or two to come, and I think we'll probably see that against Belgium. Belgium have had a remarkable tournament when you think about it, because they were really underwhelming in the group phase. And then they were going home, against Senegal. They were 2-0 down with, 5 minutes to go. Lukaku caused mayhem as a super sub. He's done brilliantly, I think, as an impact player in this tournament. In fact, he's barely played this season at club. And then against the USA, they showed their quality. So, again, I think Spain will control the game, and I just wonder how many chances are Belgium going to have to really get at that defence. Yes. So I think it's an intriguing game, but I think we're probably set for a France-Spain semi-final.
Kev, I watched the Switzerland game against Colombia. I thought they defended so well. The whole team defended so well. And they did have a threat on the counter-attack at times, not as much as they would have wanted. But against an Argentine defence, which looked poor in the last game, they can really hurt Argentina on the counter-attack, can't they?
Yeah, I think they can, and we saw that against Egypt, didn't we, with Argentina? They've had an interesting tournament because I thought group stage they looked good. Really, really good against Algeria and Austria. I covered the game against Jordan, and they made 9 changes and still looked really good. But Cape Verde, real shock to the system, I think. And those gaps that are there start to open up, and Egypt caused them all kinds of problems on the counter, and 2-0 up. They will look back on that. I mean, they could talk about a rigged game and all that all they like, but the truth is they blew it really, 2-0 up, and then couldn't see it through. So, yeah, I think there are gaps there for Switzerland. This Swiss team has so much experience. I mean, Ricardo Rodriguez has been playing left back for them for about 10,000 years. You've got a Kanji who's won major trophies and has been around for a long time. The goalkeeper Kobel is one of the best in Germany. He's been great for Dortmund for a long time. Granit Xhaka, of course, is an incredible leader, incredible organiser in that midfield area. Manzambi's fitness could be really important because he would give them, obviously he missed the previous game. If he was fit, he'd give them that ability to hit on the counter because he carries the ball incredibly well. But yeah, it's can they cause a problem, or will it just be attack against defence? Because if they do that and they just dig in, I thought Colombia were great, but Argentina are better. And if they dig in, I think Argentina will pick them off. So they have to, through Danandoy and Vargas and players like that, they have to have a threat on them.
And one piece of advice to the Swiss: don't let Manuel Akanji anywhere near any penalty kicks. Okay?
No, absolutely not.
Kev, thanks very much indeed.
Cheers, guys.
European football expert Kevin Hatchard there. That was a roundup of all the latest action thanks to Burger King. Coming up, we'll turn our attention back to one of the stories of the summer. In fact, one of the stories of the year. Arthur Ferry through to the semi-finals of Wimbledon. Is he the future of British tennis? I think so. We'll discuss that next.
The Breakfast Briefing on talkSPORT with Burger King Burger Buddies. Iconic winners delivered in the box every time. Order now on the BK app.
Michael Owen, in his Daily Mail column, has decided, I think, to take a bit of a swing at how we have reacted to that Arsenal Freudian slip there. That England result the other night. And he says, let's not confuse drama with quality. England must improve. He's basically dismissed the calls that it was brave. He says, I think we mistake what bravery in football is. We are celebrating players throwing themselves in front of shots as if they have gone to war. And he offers his own interpretation of bravery, which is real bravery is wanting the ball when 80,000 people are willing you to make a mistake. It's showing for possession when everyone else is hiding. It's taking the ball off your mate when he's in trouble, knowing if you lose it, you'll be criticised. That's football bravery, and that's what England need more of if they are going to win this World Cup. In the context of how it made this country feel as well, this feels like quite a miserable take. I know that we need to start looking ahead to Norway and the improvements that we need on the pitch, but for the moment,
100%.
I think
let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate. It's Wednesday.
I totally disagree, Michael Owen. I feel that players in that atmosphere, you know what I mean? Everyone's talking about the altitude. You've got 80,000 Mexican fans. I think it is heroic in a way of you getting on the ball, Jude Bellingham getting on the ball, Dan Burn throwing themselves up in front of shots, doing that for your country, knowing how much football means to this country. People are going through a tough time. It's not the best state at the moment of the country. And those players, I think, hold themselves in a high manner because that's what you want to see from your team. How many times have we been in tournaments where, you're playing against Mexico away. Oh, okay, we don't want to turn up. Some players crumble. every player, even the subs that come on, they perform.
Yeah.
So I think it was fantastic.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Unmatchable. Fantastic. Great tune, yes. Yeah. This is World Cup Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling. Gabby Agbonlahor with me. Alex Crook and Troy Deeney are in New York for a gloriously chaotic World Cup daily episode entitled Cowboy Crookie Takes on the Big Apple. It includes hats, karaoke, chicken wings and hot dogs. Yep, those are Crookie's real areas of expertise.
Incredible.
On the football side, Troy gives his take on Jude Bellingham proving the doubters wrong.
I know Jude doesn't give everyone the insight and the media availability that everyone would like. By the way, myself included, because I'm now obviously in the media space. But because of that, there's this anti-Jude thing that's around. They're like, oh, they want to speak bad on him because he doesn't give you the access that he wants. But he's been brilliant. He's been the best player of the tournament, in my opinion. He will be truly missed. I'm worried about him on the yellow card, mate, if I'm being totally honest. I am worried because he has to play with an edge and he has to play with a bit of spite.
Yeah, I completely disagree with Troy. I don't think there's an anti-Jude feeling at all. Maybe there was a couple of years ago because people felt that he wasn't doing himself justice on or off the field. But I don't feel that at all. The nation's right behind him.
100%. I don't think it's everyone. We know a certain person that maybe I've talked about before on here in 5-6 months ago that was very anti-Jude.
Well, his name is Craig Hope, isn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't say everybody. I wouldn't say everybody. No.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Look, hey, it's Craig's job. He's given an opinion. You know, not everybody will agree with that opinion, but it is his right to give. Well, it's his right to give the opinion, though, isn't it? And
yes, he's right, but it's a terrible one.
He wasn't the only one who felt that, for instance, Morgan Rogers should start before.
But that's different. It's different saying that someone should start instead of somebody. But when you're going in on somebody and saying they shouldn't be involved in the squad, they shouldn't be anywhere near it, they're going to ruin the harmony of the squad, and then Jude Bellingham's the start of the tournament, and you're celebrating. You're writing pieces and you're like, he's fantastic. What a guy. like, make your mind up. Which one are you on?
Yeah. But Troy, no anti-Jude feeling whatsoever. I think completely the opposite. Certainly in the UK at the moment anyway. Well, maybe not the UK, but certainly in England at the moment. Okay, 7:24, time now for this.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT. Sponsored by Costa Express. Freshly ground Costa coffee for a quality day.
It's the iconic Wimbledon theme again. Glad to say Laura Cook-Francis is back with us.
I have indeed. We are still talking about Arthur Ferry because he deserves it today. Yep. There also wasn't a World Cup game last night, so the perfect time for him to really get his flowers. Let's hear from him first. This is what he had to say in his post-match press conference.
My memory of it was that it was impressive how she didn't let the occasion get to her. You know, she would just keep going match after match, playing well, beating top players, and yeah, that was until the title. So it's very tough to do when you're not used to being on the stage, on such a big stage. And she did it great when she won the US Open. Yeah, I've been trying to do that as well. Just take it match by match, play my game, put what I do best on court, and yeah, keep doing that.
Yeah, Arthur Ferry, they're talking about Emma Raducanu and her win at the US Open in 2021. Telegraph also says the British hero does a Raducanu. Now, Gabby, you scored on your debut.
Thank you very much.
You did, yeah. You burst onto the scene. There's a tap in. The challenge that Arthur Ferry will have now is that he has gone from being essentially a nobody to what could be the face of British tennis. Yes. How do we, as kind of fans, and how does the LTA manage him in terms of, if you look at Raducanu, how that has gone post US Open, whereas we have an exciting prospect here, but we want him for the long term. We don't want it to be just a flash in the pan.
And as well, like, he's got to embrace it, he's got to enjoy it, and we can't put pressure on him, because even if he gets to the final, and if he wins Wimbledon, we know how difficult tennis is. Mm-hmm. Sinner's not going anywhere. Alcaraz isn't going anywhere. Djokovic isn't going anywhere. Zverev isn't going anywhere. So it's going to be so difficult for him to win Opens. But let's just enjoy him game by game. I think he's incredible. We've needed it. We've been starved, British tennis. So I'm just happy for him. He's one of our own doing well, and Wimbledon needs it.
What was said to you after you scored on your debut? Just don't get too big-headed about it?
Yeah, still sit at the front of the coach. Yeah, you can't sit at the back of the coach with all the main players. But yeah, just don't get carried away. Even after my first whole season with Martin O'Neill, it was like, you're not getting the big money yet. You got to earn it. You got to have 40 starts, and you get a renegotiation on your contract. You know, it kept me like grounded. That's what you need sometimes. But the big contracts are coming for Ferry. The big sponsorships are coming.
They are indeed. And just in terms of his winnings, he has now doubled his career earnings. Quick comparison, though, because he is the second men's wildcard to make the semi-finals. Lots of comparisons with Goran Ivanisevic. In 2001, Goran Ivanisevic won £500,000 for winning Wimbledon. If you adjust that for inflation today, that's just shy of £1 million, which is actually close to what Arthur Ferry has earned. So if he goes on to win, he'll win £3.6 million if he wins Wimbledon. So he is looking at a life-changing amount of money, even for him when he comes from the background that we know he does. So yeah.
I don't think the money's a motivating factor at all as far as he's concerned. You know, you're absolutely right. I mean, he needs to learn, to define what is good advice and what is bad advice. To have good people around him, not just people who want to be around him because of what he's
Don't change your coach every 6 months.
Yeah. What would your good advice be to him, Jeff? What would you say to him?
Oh, I mean, look, try and carry on. It goes without saying, try and carry on doing what you're doing. But I would say, be suspicious of people who've not been around you before, but suddenly are around you and want to be your mate.
You do get
chances are they're not.
You do get that a lot.
Did you have people asking to be your friends?
Oh yes, the amount of people that will just turn up and hello, who are you? And just lag-alongs used to call them.
Lag-alongs.
You get a lot of them that'll be around people that start doing well, and that's what happens. You see a lot.
By the way, we're saying he's the new British star. Mm-hmm. The French want him. They saying he's theirs.
Oh.
We're born in France, born just outside
France.
Paris,
French parents, French coaches, they say...
Well, give us Elise then.
That's what I was going to say.
Give us Elise back. We'll have Elise. A happily trade.
Can he play tennis?
He probably can, actually. I'm sure I saw he's a very good sportsman when he was younger. Just before I go, can I paint you a picture of a perfect English sporting summer that is on the cards? Just imagine this. Sunday the 12th, Arthur Ferry wins Wimbledon. A week later, England lift the World Cup. And then in the evening, Tommy Fleetwood wins the Open. What's the likelihood?
Why Tommy Fleetwood? You could pick some other English golfers.
I think he's got a good chance, no?
Of course he has.
Let's be realistic, Jeff.
And he's a brilliant bloke, and he's a brilliant golfer.
And English golfer.
We would love that. We would absolutely love that. Laura, thank you very much.
100 to 1, maybe? Do you reckon? The odds on that?
I'd have that.
Well, we can ask, can't
Yeah,
we?
oh, yeah, we can. Yeah, they've got 45 minutes to find the odds. It's been enough time for Simon Clare.
Thank you very much indeed, Laura. That was all thanks to Costa Express. I just got to read this. Fred says, I'm convinced Jeff genuinely thinks his opinion is the only right opinion about everything. Well, I wouldn't say it if I didn't think it was the right opinion, would I, Fred? I wouldn't say something that is opposite to what I believe, would I, Fred, who calls me the most annoying bloke on the radio? Well, thank goodness I'm the
You're
most
laughing
at
'cause it's not you.
something. yeah. What about the fella sitting alongside me? Come on, Fred. We're vying for the title here. Yeah, fantastic. Coming up, we'll have thanks, Laura. We'll have an exclusive interview with Dan Burn and find out exactly how he's gone from stacking shelves to playing in the World Cup. That's next.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT. Sponsored by Costa Express. Freshly ground Costa coffee for a quality day.
The idea it's a clear tournament has been fixed. I think that's a bit powerful. Let's have it right. Because at the end of the day, if you were fixing the tournament, you'd keep Brazil in it, surely. You're fixing the tournament, you try and keep them in it. If you want worldwide viewings, and advertising and money and all that and revenues and fixing it for the right reasons so the superpowers are inside the competition.
Well, we can evaluate the stupidness,
surely
but we can dissect the stupidity of individual statements. But we're talking about the premise of what
I don't think that's stupid. I think it's harsh. I don't think it's a stupid comment. I think it's just in the moment. It's got wrapped up in the moment. There's billions of people.
Stupid comment. You can't run around saying...
Simon, there's billions of people.
It's an uninformed, uneducated, unsubstantiated, with no empirical background behind it. Because it's an uneducated view. You can't tell something's fixed unless you know it to be factually the case.
No,
so
I just said his emotions run riot.
But it's a stupid comment because it's not seeded in anything. So what the argument is about and debate is about is whether people should be able to say these sort of things and whether the consequences of it should be far-reaching. And what we're talking about is how people should operate.
I think Simon's right in this one, is he not, Sean? It is clear this tournament has been fixed. Then that guy boards a plane and flies back to Egypt and goes unpunished. I mean, my God, that is conspiratorial.
No, I totally agree. It's too powerful. That part of the statement is too powerful.
Yeah.
The rest of the referee's not fair. We've all said that in different variances down the years. The injustice was clear. I mean, look, the argument going back to, the facts of it as a manager, forgetting that last part of the statement, which is powerful, and you can't forget it, I understand, but let's just, for our question and answer here, forget it. The injustice is the foul, isn't it? They're going, why are you bringing it back to that foul? Why are you allowing that?
He's considered one of the greatest goalkeepers of all time. But the story of Lev Yashin could have ended early were it not for a phone call and a friendly. In 1963, the Soviet Union's man between the sticks was seriously considering retirement. The World Cup in Chile the year before went badly wrong for him. But as he's about to hang up his gloves, he gets a call from Fernando Riera, the man who managed the Chile team that beat him in the World Cup 12 months before. Riera's managing a rest of the world side in a centenary game for the English Football Association and tells Yashin, I want you. I mean, look at this team. There's Yashin, and there's Eusebio, Di Stefano, Law and Puskás. England puts out pretty much their main international side, led by Blackpool's Jimmy Armfield, and also featuring Moore, Charlton, Greaves, the men who'd go on to claim glory in '66. Yashin plays the first 45 minutes and, as you can see, he was busy. At half-time, he goes off injured, but he's kept a clean sheet. The match, broadcast back home in the Soviet Union, proves to the people that Yashin is still the best of the best. Returning home a national hero again convinces him that he has one more World Cup in him. And at that tournament in '66, the Soviet Union came fourth, their best ever World Cup finish.
Morning, this is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Gabby, Agbonlahor and Arnold Clark. Browse the UK's best used car deals and score your dream car today. Check out their website for more details. Now, is Dan Burn becoming one of the stories of the World Cup? Well, talkSPORT's England correspondent Faye Carruthers caught up with the big Geordie defender yesterday, who spoke on just how pleased he was to make an impact in the tournament.
I understand people's opinion, but like I said, I've always just, the only people's opinions I kind of care about is the managers and my teammates. But I think that was nice as well, because I think until you get on the pitch and you show people what you can do, I feel like you probably earn that little bit of sort of respect from it as well. And like I said, I came to the tournament knowing that I wasn't going to start. I'd had the conversations with the manager, but I also know that what I'm good at, I'm very good at. So I knew there was going to be opportunities where I could come and make a difference. So I'm just happy that I could do that. As I said, I've sat here in front of you and everybody else and said, like, if I don't play a minute, it won't make a difference. But inside, I'm thinking, I really want to get on. So the good thing is that I think throughout the tournament, we've shown we can win in lots of different ways. And I said, we've spoke about this brotherhood where I think like sometimes it can just be words, and unless you physically see it, that's all it is words. But I feel like you've seen that over the last few weeks, like how the love that we've got for each other. But I think there is a little bit of we're now that's like, we do want to put in a complete performance. We know how good we can be and what we see every single day in training and like how high the level is. But I don't really think that we've probably put that full performance in a game. And I want to do that in the World Cup. Like, I want people to see how good we are and what I see every day from the lines of training. So
Jeff Stelling has also said he thinks you should start against Norway because of what you've done against Erling Haaland in the past. I think he's only scored 1 goal past you. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't want to jinx it, but yeah, 1 goal. I do enjoy playing against Erling purely just from a physical point of view. Like, I quite like that sort of physical battle, and I get on well with him on the pitch. Like, we do get on quite well, although you'd have to ask him if he thinks the same thing. But yeah, like, if I'm asked to do that, I'd be more than ready and more than happy to do that. But obviously I also know that we've got sort of 4 other centre-halves who are also top quality players and have played this whole tournament because of that too. So
Dan Burn, look, he's a very engaging character, isn't he? After that performance against Mexico, 8 blocks and clearances in the time that he was on, by the way. So it's just the way I defend blocking shots and stopping crosses. He said, I was just really trying to grind it out, but boy, he made an impact for someone who a lot of people didn't think he should have even been in the squad, Gabby.
Listen, I think because Harry Maguire had a very good season, people thought Harry Maguire should be in it. But what he's done is he's proved why the manager took him. He said the manager spoke to me, I wasn't going to be a starter, but I knew I'd have a part to play in this tournament, and that's what he did. I was surprised when Anderson come off and he went to the 5. I was like, okay, maybe we're going to be sitting back too much now, especially with a less player. But it worked, and that was the last player that maybe Mexico wanted on the pitch because he's so good in the air.
Yeah. David says, story of the World Cup, because of one decent 20-minute cameo, you aren't half getting swept up in the moment. If there's ever a time to get swept up in the moment, David, it's now, isn't it? You know, we're in the World Cup quarterfinals, so I've got no objection to getting swept up in the moment. Let's bring in a man who managed Dan Burn as a young 21-year-old during their shared time at Birmingham City. It's the Hartlepool United manager, Lee Clark. Morning, Lee.
Morning, Lee.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Gabby.
So Lee, look, you had Big Dan at Birmingham City, didn't you, as a 21-year-old? Did he show the same sort of desire, the same determination then as he does now?
Absolutely, Jeff, in abundance. He absolutely trained every single day like it was the biggest game he was playing in. He was so committed. He was just a top guy. And, when you see what he's going on to achieve now, both with club and country, in the latter part of his career, you couldn't wish it on a better person and a better professional.
What do you think about the game on Saturday then, Lee? Because, Gay and Conce have been playing together most of the tournament. Do you see the manager changing it and looking at the record between Haaland and Burn?
I think it may come into his thoughts, Gabby, yeah. Of course, because, I've seen it firsthand when I've seen these Newcastle Man City games, how Dan's handled Haaland, and he's been very aggressive with him. It's been a good battle. But obviously then you look back and you think, well, is the manager going to change a winning team? He's got the option. Dan's shown that he can come and make an impact off the bench for him if he wants to change the system.
Yep.
So it's great problems for a manager to have. He's got players coming off the bench and making impacts for him, and he's got players who are starting who are doing well. It's just an exciting time. Everyone's looking forward to Saturday evening.
Yeah. I mean, would you hold him up to your players as sort of inspirational figure then, Lee? You know, someone who as a kid, you know, didn't make an impact, you know, wasn't at academies, was stacking shelves in Asda, and went to Darlington in the end. I mean, for goodness sake, anybody who goes to Darlington, they deserve success in their later career. Sorry, Darling fans. But would you hold him up to, you know, maybe your younger players and say, look, this is what you can achieve?
Absolutely, Jeff. You've just touched it. You know, stacking shelves in Asda, about 10 years plus. Now he's 10 days away from being a World Cup winner. It's one of the best stories ever. You know, and it shows you that, yes, ability counts, but hard work matters as well, and that's what he does. He absolutely, as I said, trains so hard every single day. He's a humble lad. I still keep in touch with him. I still see him regular. He's so humble, down to earth. He just, you know, wants to get on with his job. He's in his dream club, playing for Newcastle United, but now he's representing his country, and as I said, couple of games away from potentially being a World Cup winner, and it's just an amazing story, and it's a great example to every single young player in the country.
I think as well, Lee, like, it's a great option to have, isn't it? We might start off with Gahey and Konsa, and 50, 60 minutes, you've had 60 minutes of Haaland getting a lot of joy in the air, like, we can't stop the crosses, and he makes that change. He says, you know what, Konsa will Gahey off, Dan Burn, I need you tight, like you've been with the Newcastle versus Manchester City. Don't let him have any time in the box.
Absolutely, Gabby. I think you're spot on. I think if he is causing one or two issues, Haaland, you've got that option where Dan can just go and be aggressive, competitive against him. But what you've got as well at the other end, because he's shown he can score goals from, you know, set plays. So he'll be a threat for you going the other way as well, as he's done for Newcastle in the Carabao Cup, and he's done on numerous occasions. So, no, listen, I think it's shown you that the squad the manager picked was spot on. He's got his tactics fantastically right in most of the games when he's made the substitutions as well. So, you know, that's why they say he's an elite coach. So hopefully he can do the same again on Saturday.
Yeah. Boydie's texted and he said, I got the England top yesterday with the number 15 Burn on the back. First shirt I bought since Sava Milosevic for Villa. So, a couple of quickies, Lee. Obviously, Bruno Guimaraes has been strongly linked now with a move to Arsenal. How devastating a blow would that be for Newcastle?
Huge blow, Jeff. Not just an outstanding footballer, but a brilliant leader. And when we're talking about examples, you know, I've watched him closely over the last few years. And I remember watching him in a pre-season friendly against Espanyol. And he absolutely, the desire he showed in that match was exactly the same he showed in the Carabao Cup final. He is a winner. He is a leader. He's been superb for us. But I've got to say, he's probably looking now and thinking, what's going on at the club? We're losing our best players. It may be his last chance of getting a big move to a club that is going to be definitely challenging to win trophies. So I'm not sure there'll be any Newcastle fan who'll begrudge Bruno to move on. Be absolutely devastated, though, because that would be a third big player this summer that's going to be walking out the door, and it's looks like it's going to be a reset for Eddie Howe and his staff.
Talking of winning trophies, this is just for you and me, Lee. Looks like we're shaping up pretty well at the moment. The likes of Hugh Gill and Nolan and Will Harris in through the door. You must be pretty pleased at Hartlepool.
Yeah, I'm absolutely delighted, Jeff. I think we've been aggressive in the transfer market. We've worked from the first day I got here. We've had brilliant backing from the owner. He wants the club to be successful in a very hard league. And our business has been brilliant. One or two more just to finish it. But, you know, it's been great. We've been in training now nearly 2 weeks. First pre-season friendly, as you'll know, down the coastal resort of Seaton Carew on Saturday. And, you know, that's when you know the season's ready to go. And looking forward to it. The lads have been superb so far in pre-season training.
Brilliant. Good luck to you, Lee.
Good luck, Lee. Thank you, mate.
Thanks, guys. Speak soon.
Cheers. If you're watching on YouTube, by the way, I'm not going to say what the caption said, but I apologise for it. It wasn't my fault, okay? I'm going to just bore you. I'm going to bore the pants off you. This week in New York, you know, to coincide with the World Cup final, there's something called Fanatics Fest. There will be hundreds of thousands of visitors there. And it's very difficult for football clubs. Football clubs are all represented there, or a lot of them are anyway, to get a booth at this Fanatics Fest. And Hartlepool United have got a booth which sits in between PSG and Inter Milan.
Big clubs only.
Yeah. Well, we've got a bit of ambition.
Yeah,
Roll on Saturday, says Big Tig from Washington in Tyne-Wear. Never seen the Northeasters united for England. Geordies and Mackhams alike. Burn and Pickford getting love from both sides, from Blythe to the Weir. England's on the beer. Good on you, Tig. Right, it's 6:46. Better get a move on. Still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Go big on landscaping with Travis Perkins. Find everything you need at travisperkins.co.uk.
Quarterfinals kick off tonight, of course, and what a game it is. Morocco take on the favourites France. It's a repeat of the semi-final of 2022. Went the French way on that occasion. It's live on talkSPORT. 1998 French World Cup winner Manu Petit is in the studio with us from just after 8 until the end of the show. And that was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. From fence panels to decking or paving packs to topsoil, Travis Perkins has all your landscaping needs covered.
What did you think of Cristiano's performances at this World Cup?
Well, listen, to be honest, take away the performances. I'm just on because I'm annoyed at Gabby for calling him a disgrace, to be honest. I think it's bang out of order. I think what he's done in his career, he's earned the right to be there.
Really?
Absolutely.
Why?
How's he not earned the right? How's he not earned the right? He scored 28 goals last season. He's 41, Gabby.
So?
What age did you retire? What age did you retire?
What age did you start playing professional football yourself, mate? Yeah,
Don't
pipe
worry
down.
about me, mate.
Pipe
Don't
down.
worry about me, mate.
Don't go there, mate, when you haven't kicked the football in your life, okay? Settle down.
Brilliant, mate.
Yeah,
I know what it's
settle
about.
down.
Don't worry about that.
Settle down.
No, you're a disgrace for calling him a disgrace.
No problem.
Honestly,
No,
it's unbelievable.
look, in fairness, Jack, we stood up for Cristiano. We said he had a wonderful, marvellous career. Nobody earns the right to play at a World Cup finals at 41 just because what you've achieved in the past. No one stops time. And you could see him last night. I mean, he was doddering around in attack. He could not raise a gallop. Time has caught up with him.
Jack still wants him started in the next World Cup as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely right. He's still producing. But there's loads of top... No, I'm saying Messi walks about, but he's still producing at the World Cup, which is fair enough, right?
Yeah.
But to say that he's not earned the right, he hasn't. He is a phenomenon.
But he's not anymore.
41 years of age.
Get ready to get that winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. This summer, talkSPORT is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of talkSPORT Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
Morning, this is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Gabby Agbonlahor, 7:51. Thursday, July the 9th. The headlines this Thursday morning: Bruno Guimaraes has reportedly asked to leave Newcastle amid interest from Premier League champions Arsenal and others. Newcastle is said to be prepared to fight to keep the Brazilian on Tyneside. Chelsea have announced the signing of Sporting Lisbon winger Giovanni Quenda in a deal worth £40 million. It comes as André Santos edges closer to a £50 million transfer to Manchester United. And outgoing Prime Minister Keir Starmer has hinted there could be an extra bank holiday if England win the World.
Oh, what a lovely guy. Nice of you.
Has he got your vote now?
No, never.
Still plenty of work to do before that. Thomas Tuchel likely to need wins over Norway, Argentina and France over the next 10 days if it pans out that way. A 96-time cap defender, Kyle Walker, was keen to praise, though, the impact of Gareth Southgate on kick-off yesterday.
With Gareth, I think he probably got the nation to fall back in love with football. With what we did with Russia, with trying to bring, obviously, the media on board and everything like that, and just changing the philosophy of how people see this England team. I think Gareth started this journey. Now, obviously, there's a lot of us that aren't there anymore that was doing that back in Russia, but there's still key players in that, and John, Harry Kane, Jordan Pickford, Jordan Henderson. These are all key parts of keeping the unit together.
Well, he should know, shouldn't he? He was on the inside looking out, if you like. Is he right to give Gareth credit
100%.
for our success now?
Listen, like, people criticise Gareth Southgate. I did as well, rightly so, because we didn't win. But when you look at the overall time as England manager, look what he did. Fantastic in the sense of, like, togetherness. I talk about when I was in England squads and how everyone sat with their clubs and it wasn't like a togetherness, Jeff. It wasn't a good feeling going away with your country, and that's totally changed. It's carried on now with Thomas Tuchel. Looks like a very good bunch of players that are together. So you got to give Gareth Southgate a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, there was a huge divide between media and the players. It was almost as if they were on opposite sides.
100%.
And that's disappeared as
Yeah, because you don't want that, do you? Because you don't want that negativity of, like, England players, England manager falling out with the media. But it's just like I've said it a million times, Jeff. You go to the Grove Hotel, you go down for breakfast, and you knew where you couldn't sit. You knew what half of the table was Manchester United, it was Chelsea, Liverpool. You knew where your Villas, your West Hams, your Middlesbroughs, you knew you could sit on the left-hand side only. That's what it was like. Now it wouldn't be like that. You could be a player to get your first call up. It could be Alex Scott. Sit where you want. Everyone's going to treat you in the same way. It had that sort of big club mentality, England, in my time with Fabio Capello.
Yeah, I think Gareth Southgate deserves a lot of credit for the many, many, many things that he changed in his time. We just couldn't quite get over the line. And we haven't got over the line yet, by the way.
Exactly.
Let's hope that we do. Now, we heard from talkSPORT, the voice of football, Adrian Durham, and the former England captain Stuart Pearce a little earlier. They're over in Miami. They were giving out some awards, their own awards. Because we know we're near the end of the tournament yet, but they were giving out some of their awards. So this is what they've gone for so far. England Player of the Tournament, Jude Bellingham. Honourable mention to Harry Kane, I think, as well in there. And maybe Jordan Pickford too. Surprise player of the tournament, they went for Michael Elise. It's not a big surprise, is it? You're not, to me.
I think Nyland's and
Nyland. Yeah, absolutely. The Norway goalkeeper. The disappointment of the tournament, Uruguay and Brazil. You'll probably add Portugal to that.
Germany.
Well, to be honest, Germany,
yes.
Absolutely. Let's cross back to Miami, where the boys have broken down Saturday's game against Norway for us.
Jeff, Gabby, thanks for joining us back in Miami, where we are living the life of kings. England against Norway on Saturday, live on talkSPORT. How do we think the game is going to go?
Totally different game to the Mexico one. We've gone into that and it was almost we've got a really tough adventure in front of us, altitude, home fans, all those things were thrown out against a good Mexican side. Hadn't conceded a goal, I don't think, by the time we ended up playing them. So we were almost second favourites potentially for that game. This one's totally different. We'll go in as favourites against a team that will probably be quite happy to sit behind. But with Haaland in the team, the best teams in this tournament at the moment have got a top striker in them, and Haaland certainly that for them.
We did a show last night where you were talking about Declan Rice, who did an individual programme. Mark Gahey, Reece James, the others weren't training with the group. Declan Rice was one of those. He's on a yellow card as well.
Yep.
Is there potentially a situation where he might be left out of the quarter-final by Thomas Tuchel?
The only thing that might be a consideration to him is if the injury that we feel as though he's sort of, I wouldn't say he's got an injury, but a concern that's been with him for a few games.
He's not 100%, let's put it that way.
Yeah, exactly that. But you wouldn't think it with his performances. You would turn around, is that going to do him more damage, and is he likely to break down? You know, if there is a risk there, I think you'd be foolish as a manager to play him.
Would you be worried about the reports that, 3 players are not training with the main squad?
No. This stage of a tournament, I mean, I played in the under-21s, Jeff, tournament. Obviously, it's not a World Cup, but if you've got little niggles, why are you going to train? And then you might end up making it worse. It's about, are you ready for Saturday at 10 p.m? That's all it's about. So the players, the physios, the managers all talk, okay, you might not need to train till Friday, okay then, but everyone's got to train Friday, the day before the game. What's the point? Just wrap yourself in cotton wool, you get your massages, using the pool. So there's no need for them to train. A lot of them will be doing bikes, so there's no impact. Like Jack Butland seems to love. No running. It's all about being fit for games. They know their bodies. They don't need to train.
Obviously, we know we've got defensive issues. That's pretty clear. Quansah suspended. Reece James, hamstring strain.
Yeah.
And Jed Spence apparently still carrying a knock. Declan Rice is fit. Do you think that Thomas Tuchel would consider playing him at fullback?
I don't think so. I just think you lose that energy in midfield, don't you? We spoke yesterday about...
You've got sort of Kobbie Mainoo, who maybe you could...
But do you put Mainoo into a quarter-final? He's not played a minute of the tournament. You know what I mean? He's not been involved in the tournament. I think with Odegaard, how he dictated that game against Brazil, you need Rice and Anderson to dictate the game in midfield. You really do. If Spence is not available, do you say Stone centre-back, Quansah right-back, or Dan Burn centre-back, like you says, and Quansah can play right-back? He's played there many times for Aston Villa, can do a sound job there. But I just don't think we can lose that energy of Declan Rice in that midfield, because as good as Odegaard is, going the opposite way, he's not going to want to be chasing his mate Declan Rice, breaking through midfield, like he did for the first goal. Was it the first goal against Mexico, where we pass it to Saka? He drives with the ball, doesn't he? Gives it to Saka. Saka gets the assist. I think that's last resort, Declan Rice at right back, like it was against Mexico.
Yeah. I think the other thing is, you mentioned Odegaard there, and he had to run the midfield against Brazil, because Brazil got no legs in there at all. But, they allowed Anderson and Rice.
They quite allowed it, didn't they? It was weird tactics where they just said, all right, Odegaard, you have it, and we'll sit back.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
Don't forget, by the way, Adrian and Stuart, part of our coverage of the World Cup quarter-final this Saturday live on talkSPORT, kicks off at 10. Up next, though, we'll focus on tonight's game. What a game it is as well. Maybe the pick of the quarterfinals if you take England's out of it. Is this the most competitive of the games? France against Morocco. We'll get Morocco. We'll get the thoughts of World Cup winner Manu Petit next.
Trump, who I think I heard say at one stage he didn't know about the red card system, he still suggested
unfair.
That the referee at the heart of this, Raphael Claus, was a bit suspect. He's the president.
These were two great athletes that got tangled up, and this referee, who is a little bit suspect, if you check his past. I don't want to say that because I don't like to create controversy, but very suspect. And he gave him a red card. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't think it meant much. Then I started hearing that means he can't play in the next game, at least in the next game. And I related just that feeling. I didn't tell him what to do. I can't tell him what to do, but and I don't believe he made the decision. I think it was a committee that made the decision. All I did was ask for a review. I didn't say, you have to do this. This man is a smart, tough man. Gianni Infantino. He's a smart, tough man. And his stock has gone through the roof because the job he's done has been great.
See, now we have the length and breadth of it, right? Now we know the full length and breadth of it, right? So now we know the full length and breadth of it. We can eviscerate it because it deserves evisceration, right? When you listen to that, you think to yourself, it's absurd. But again, it takes me back to the position. And Trump says absurd things, but no one disputes the fact that he says lots of absurd things. And that in the context of sporting.
But he's the president.
But people say lots of things. Lots of people say lots of silly things, right? But you'd expect him to say something better than this. But in a sporting context, he doesn't clearly know what he's talking about. But I tell you who does know what he's talking about is that snivelling sycophant that runs FIFA. He does know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And when you've got somebody that's running the game that doesn't uphold the values of the game and doesn't uphold the integrity of the game and then tells you that you're all stupid and there's nothing for you to see here, right? That's when people should have concerns. Forget Trump. Look at Infantino.
If there's one thing Brazil loves more than samba and sunshine, it's football, or as they call it, futebol. And trust me, this love story goes way back. It all started in 1884, when a young Brazilian named Charles Miller returned from England aged 21, carrying a pair of footballs and a Hampshire FA rulebook. He was basically the original influencer, bringing back trends from abroad. And just like that one mate who insists you have to try their new obsession, Miller convinced everyone to give this little English sport a go. Spoiler alert, it caught on. The entire nation fell head over boots for the game. And fast forward a few decades, it was time for Brazil to start playing in the World Cup. Then came 1958, the year a 17-year-old kid named Pelé showed up and said, "Don't worry, I got this." Brazil won its first World Cup and respectively put down its mark on the global football stage. From there, Brazil kept adding stars to the jersey. 1958, 1962, 1970, 1994, 2002, making it the only country with 5 World Cup titles and the only country to participate in every tournament. Not that they like to brag or anything. Okay, maybe a little. And the style? Pure magic. Jogo bonito, the beautiful game. It became Brazil's signature. Think dazzling footwork, joyful play, and the occasional move that makes you wonder if gravity just took the day off. Today, football isn't just a sport in Brazil. It's part of the national identity. From street games played with anything even slightly round to packed stadiums exploding with colour and noise, Brazil lives and breathes football. So, the next time you see that iconic yellow jersey, just remember, it all started with one guy, 2 footballs, and a nation ready to fall in love.
Morning, this is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Gabby, Agbonlahor and Arnold Clark at 8:05, almost 6 minutes past 8 on Thursday, July the 9th. The perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out now online. Now, huge night in the World Cup tonight as tournament favourites France face their toughest test so far.
Everybody's here to see the stars come out to play. Rahimi! There it is! To settle it! Sends Morocco through to the quarterfinals!
They've been improving for years now, and it's no surprise that the last World Cup they reached the semi-final.
I think teams watching this will look at Morocco and think, I don't really want to play them.
Mbappe stutters right-footed and scores! Gill goes the wrong way!
Whoever beats them wins the World Cup, but unfortunately I don't think there's a team that's going to beat them.
Well, Olise flicked it through. They're in here, and it's Mbappe again. Magnificent! France fans jumping up and down excitedly in the stand away to our left, but the game is not over yet.
Another statement from France that is loud and clear.
Yeah, that's right. Repeat of the 2022 World Cup semi-final. It's Morocco against France. It's live on talkSPORT. Could be an absolute classic. Of course, France winning 2-0 in Qatar. No one better to talk about tonight than the 1998 French World Cup winner, Emmanuel Petit, who joins us now live in the studio.
Morning, Emmanuel.
Good morning.
Look, I mean, we get excited about this. It's sort of the ultimate international clash in some ways, isn't it? Not just the fact that you met in the semi-finals, but the fact that so many Moroccan players were French-born.
Yeah.
And it's got to be a real edge to this game, hasn't there?
Somewhere it's like playing against your best friends or even some brothers, because when you see the relationship between some players, they know each other for so many years. So sometimes it's weird, to play against that kind of opponent, because emotions, it's in between. So, but anyway, it's been the case already 4 years ago when we met them, in Qatar World Cup. And I remember, Kylian Mbappe talking with Hakimi, they were laughing. But at the end of the day, when you come into the pitch, there's no friendship anymore.
Mm. They've been consistent, haven't they, Morocco?
Yeah.
African Cup of Nations champions as well recently. Yeah. Do you look at this game and you say their best chance is their right-hand side and France's left-hand side to target?
It's hard to say because they have really qualities, in midfield up front as well. I like the way they play in transition. They play very fast. They did it, the last game, when they were suffering the first half, and in the second half they play, in counter-attack, and they play very, very quickly, and they were very efficient, in front of the goal, very clinical. So they have quality. Obviously, the right-hand side are probably the best, in Morocco, but we have so many qualities as well. And I was just wondering how Hakimi, the right back, will behave, on the pitch, because he likes to come up, really often, into the game. But how is he going to react, with Barcola, marking him, because he will leave space behind him all the times, and Barcola, he loves it.
Mm. Now, I look at both ends of the pitch as far as Morocco are concerned, because they've got some lovely footballers, there's no question about that. But I wonder if they lack a bit of a cutting edge. And defensively, I mentioned Hakimi, who loves to get forward. Mm-hmm. And you've got Mazraoui and Diop and Hal. And I wonder if they've really got the qualities to cope with the French attack.
I think when they defend as a unit, as a team, they can show great character and great concentration too. So sometimes we struggle. We saw that against Paraguay. It took a long time, to create occasion and to have a single chance to score. But I think we have enough qualities up front, to adapt ourselves and and find, the solution. But I think Morocco will sit back. They won't play the same way. They know that they're facing probably the most terrific, strikers in the world. So I think they will start, with that in mind, and they won't take any risk for the first 20-25 minutes. I think they will try to get back to win back the ball, and to play in transition. I think so.
The last game against Paraguay, to be able to bring on Doué for Barcola, wins the penalty straight away. I mean, the quality that France have got going forward, and watching them as well, especially with Mbappe, there's like a determination, Emmanuel, of like,
he's on mission.
We shouldn't have lost the last one against Argentina. Like, no, come on, this is ours now. We're bringing the World Cup back to France.
I hope so.
I don't.
I know you don't. I hope so. I think we are among with England, Spain, and Argentina to win the World Cup, But I think, as you said, we have enough quality, to adapt ourselves. We can play in transition. We can build up the occasion as well, and we can make individual, miracles as well with the ball. As you said, if you use Barcola, and ask him, to run in behind the defenders when there is no space, then you can bring in, Doué, which is very, very interesting, in small spaces.
Yeah. We like to talk about the sort of unity, the togetherness of the England squad, Manu.
Yeah.
Is that the same with the Frenchmen? So many big names within that. But I get the impression, actually, that they are a team.
Yes. I think, as I said yesterday, and it happened with us, in 1998, when we won ugly against Paraguay, Sometimes you have to win that kind of game because that brings you confidence and belief in the team. And this is something that you have to go through if you want to go until the end. It happened, with England against Mexico. It happened against Argentina against Egypt. And we did it as well against Paraguay. It was... We have all seen, the game. It was a scandal. But at the end of the day, we try to keep our nerves, on the pitch and try to play our football, all the provocations, and, was a shame to watch on the pitch. But I think the players react in a good way, and they did everything needed, to win that game.
It was like watching a game from 50 years ago. You see
Honestly,
some of the clips of Maradona getting kicked and getting back up and running and no foul, and you're like, wow, how can this be happening now?
I was so frustrated, I just wanted to go into the pitch, Oh my God, you have no idea. It was shameful to watch, and I think I can't separate my emotion on what I've seen on the pitch and what I've heard and seen after the game. And still now, I'm very, very shocked about what has been said.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was good to hear Kylian Mbappe speak out against
communication was great.
And, instead of with the racist remarks.
Ridiculous.
What I like about Mbappe is that, like, okay, you tried to kick me during the game, then you got some of your officials afterwards saying these racist remarks, but you're not going to put me off my game. You're not going to put this France squad up there. I know
nowadays,
it's incredible. It's incredible, but this is the world we live in now, Emmanuel, and people get away with it. It's scary.
No, I'm sorry, I disagree. I know that there is racist everywhere in the world, but we should not accept that kind of comments, especially from political people.
100%, mate. No, yeah, but we're not accepting it. I agree. We definitely shouldn't accept it. But I'm not surprised in certain parts of the world where they will get away with it there. Should France maybe do something politically to stop her coming to France ever again? What can you do?
It's shocking.
Yeah, disgusting.
Yeah, well, and it's great that Kylian Mbappe has called her out as well. Are you concerned at all? I mean, Didier Deschamps played it down. Are you concerned about the fact that there are going to be 5 Argentinian officials?
Yeah, well, Argentina against Egypt, it was French people, on the pitch, and they received a lot of sticks after a lot of critics after the game. So, no, I think... everything is under scrutiny. I hope so. I hope so. To be honest with you, with what Trump did with Infantino. Well, sorry, it's not Infantino. It's Mafia Infantino.
Yeah, we like to call them Laurel and Hardy. Trump and Infantino.
Well, really, FIFA will never change. So I hope that everything is under scrutiny, and everything that will happen on the pitch, will be judged and will be analyzed strictly.
Yes,
really looking forward to the game tonight. I know you're staying with us for the next couple of hours, Manu, so we'll talk a great deal more. Coming up, we'll turn our attention to the news of Bruno Guimaraes is asked to leave Newcastle with Arsenal, apparently his desired destination. We'll get Manu's thoughts on that next.
management inside out. Tuchel might just be the 1%
He might
difference
well be, but what I'm saying
between
is,
winning it and not winning it.
I need to make this really clear. I am not questioning or doing him down. I'm trying to give you a balanced view of how I see management.
Yeah.
He hasn't done it yet. You're only ever judged on what you end up winning, not whether you could have won it. Brendan Rodgers, apart from the slip, would have possibly, very nearly could have won the Premier League.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they don't judge him on the fact that as if he did win it, he did win it.
Until England do it.
That's all I'm saying. And I want him to win it. I want the country to win the World Cup.
But the bottom line is this, and we will never know. If Tuchel had been in charge of England at Wembley that night, in the European final, against Italy, you have ended up winning it?
I was there, by the way. I was there. You know, you
changed it. So Simon's point is right. Is it not, Sean?
The whole world is watching. Even the most
you change it and you lose, right? You didn't know what you're doing.
Change
it and you win. You do know what
you make a decision.
That is the life. No.
You make a decision. We all know you live and die by decisions. But when something's coming on top and the whole world's watching it and going, we need to change something. We need to change something. We need to change something. Okay, we haven't changed something. They've scored. Now we're going to change something. They've scored. Now it's easy to be a Monday night quarterback. We all know that, right? But the bottom line is that my inherent belief is the reasons why there's elite managers and there's the reason why there's good managers. Right?
None of us have ever had a bad game in here. Simple as that. Not a bad game.
We're not football
when you're on the sidelines, and you're under pressure.
Oh, he's coming alive now, Mr. Dyche.
That's when the truth is, really.
But Tuchel will only be judged by when those moments come. They haven't come. They haven't come against Ghana.
Which is fair. That's exactly fair.
But when they do come, I'm willing to bet you that Tuchel's credentials and the elite gene that I think that he has, which is the reasons why he's managed PSG, Bayern Munich. Yeah, it's a mentality. It's a mentality. Of course, don't be so bloody stupid.
I've got a ginger gene.
well, yeah.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Morning, this is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Gabby Agbonlahor, and 1998 World Cup winner Emmanuel Petit. So a big transfer story around this morning revolves around Bruno Guimaraes, who reportedly wants to leave Newcastle, wants to go to Arsenal. Newcastle say they're prepared to fight to keep him amid a desire from the Brazilian to join the Premier League champions. Of course, they've already sold Sandro Tonali to Tottenham. Anthony Gordon's going off to Spain during the course of the summer. Bruno Guimaraes then, Manu, what's your assessment of him? Would he
good player
fit in with Arsenal?
Yeah, I think good technically, good vision. I think he has a great character too. He can fight on the pitch too. I think this is exactly what we need, at Arsenal. We welcome any good players, at Arsenal, actually. And there is some position missing players. And I think we need at least one more midfield player. And I think that could be something interesting. But in the turnover, with Arteta, I think playing every three days is very difficult, mentally and physically. And we've seen that again the last couple of months of this last season.
The best teams, when they win, they strengthen, don't they?
Yeah.
They make their squad
yeah.
better.
And you sat back and you try to play in counter-attack sometimes. But I think on top of it, I think Guimaraes has this quality, with the ball, and this is exactly what Arteta wants.
Mm-mm. from a Newcastle perspective, of course, it's a dagger in the heart, isn't it? On the back of the players that they've lost, and with not many signs of incomings either.
Yeah, it's not positive. Isak last season, now Gordon, Tonali and Guimaraes are probably our 3 best players.
Yeah.
Could there be more that leave? Yeah,
Well, and Elliot Anderson prior to that.
Not a good time to be a Newcastle fan at the moment. Not promising.
No, not promising at all. But we shall see. Look, they seem to be a long way apart on their valuation, Mano. Newcastle are talking about 100 million, Arsenal 60 million. What do you think?
80?
Deal.
Yeah. No, I mean, prices, price tag. Actually, every single season I'm amazed, about that, and I keep thinking about me. What the hell, is wrong with football, actually, because all of a sudden, when there is a name coming up, into the press, all of a sudden, it's just we talk about 100 millions. So, yeah, I presume it's the market,
Yeah. Well, we're talking about,
but it's becoming
Andre
crazy.
Santos going to Manchester United for 50 million.
Yeah.
He's played a handful of games for Chelsea.
Based on what?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Right. High time we got the latest odds with Coral and John Hill.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here to reward the fans this summer. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
John, good morning to you.
Morning, John.
Good morning, gentlemen. What a cracking day it's going to be today. The return of the World Cup. I didn't know what to do with myself last night, chaps. That withdrawal symptoms of no football. The tennis didn't go late, so...
But you could have watched Love Island, John.
Well, I'm not sure about that. Good grief.
Well, you
Not for
usually
me,
do.
Jeff.
I know. Come on, I know you do. I know you do.
Not for me, I told Jeff.
Yeah.
Not for me. And I'm heading to Newmarket today for day one of the July Festival, Jeff. So it should be a scorcher there. I'll have to put on the factor 50 today.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, what about tonight? Oh, let's start with France-Morocco, shall we? Tonight, France obviously looking for revenge not looking for revenge. Morocco looking for revenge for that defeat in the semi-finals 2022. They've got to be big outsiders, haven't they, Morocco?
Yeah, they are, absolutely. 5-1 to prevail today, 90 minutes, Morocco. Look, they're a good team, aren't they? We know their biggest strength is Arkish Hakimi on the right side of the pitch. I thought they've been solid throughout the tournament so far. So, first big test, you could argue, for France today. The favourites to win the tournament. They're 4-7 to get the job done in 90 minutes, 1-4 to qualify. So, they're the shortest price of the 8 teams left to get through to the semi-final. And, what have you made, boys, of France so far in this tournament?
I've been well, it's been a pleasure to watch them, to be honest. I mean,
they're good, aren't they? Yeah.
Mbappe, Barcola's a threat. If Barcola could finish, I mean, he could be one of the best wingers in the world. Doué, fantastic player. Listen, nothing but positives for France, no negatives.
Yeah, look, just a moment. We've got Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham and Jordan Pickford, who's had a great tournament so far as well. So let's not just big up the French all the time.
No, you're quite right. But, look, us English, you know what we're like. We are pessimistic, aren't we? And look, in terms of the outright betting, let's just go into that. France, 7-4 favourites, as I mentioned. Spain are next best at 7-2. Then it's Argentina, 4-1. England, 9-2 to go all the way from here. Norway, 14-1. And Morocco, 28-1.
Okay.
Switzerland, no odds.
Sorry, Switzerland, 33-1 and Belgium 33. I apologise, any Belgium or Switzerland
load
fans.
of listeners in
Putting a
Switzerland.
line through you straight away. Yeah, apologies.
What about Wimbledon? Then John Arthur Ferry defying the odds through the semi-finals as a wild card. He's got the second seed Zverev to come. Well, outright, and I know he's going to be the outsider of the 4, but how big an outsider?
Well, he's 16-1, but he just keeps defying the odds, Jeff, doesn't he? You know, we spoke the other day about him playing Cavalli. He was an outsider in that one. He was an outsider against Dimitrov. And you just keep thinking, surely this run is going to come to an end, this fairy tale run. But he's playing so well, and you just never know against Zverev. He's obviously the outsider in that match at 3-1. But if he can make the final, it would be absolutely extraordinary. I tell you what, guys, shall we dare to believe and dare to dream over the next couple of weeks? How about this? England to win the World Cup, Arthur Ferry to win Wimbledon, and good old Tommy Fleetwood to win the Open Championship next week. The treble there works out 1,500 to 1. So that would be the best summer ever, wouldn't it, for English fans? Winning the World Cup, Arthur Ferry win Wimbledon, and Fleetwood Bringing on that claret
It's
jug.
going to happen. No problem.
Yeah, well, one of our callers suggested that a bit earlier in the show. But...
Yeah, well, your producer did give me a heads up there on that.
It's massive. Hey, John, Manu's in the studio. I should tell him that Arthur Ferry, Wimbledon semi-finalist. You know, the French are claiming him.
Born in France.
He was born in France. He's got French parents and a French coach.
But I'll tell you what, Manny, we're having this one because you took Michael Elise.
I know.
So we're having this one.
So,
English, Elise.
Yeah, brilliant. John, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, John.
Cheers, guys.
And remember, every game from the World Cup is live on talkSPORT. Up next, we'll get Manu's thoughts on officiating this World Cup. But that was a look at the latest odds with Coral 18+, gambleaware.org.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here to reward the fans this summer. 18+, gambleaware.org.
I can't believe they're moaning about losing.
No, you're right.
They're moaning about the decisions, and I've seen all the interviews after the game.
Right.
And can someone remind them that they were winning 2-0? Yeah. Like, you've only got
what is their? I mean, the goal that wasn't given, and it was at 1-0 at the time. What an unbelievable goal! It was one of the best goals you'll see in the World Cup. Team goal down that right hand side, and I think who was it that was fouled? Was it Martinez that was fouled? I can't remember who.
It was over in the far corner.
It was in the far corner. Anyway, whoever it was, right? He does step on his toes.
Do you think you should go back to it?
I think the fact that Argentina didn't actually regain possession of the ball and it was a continuous attack, I think on that occasion, I think it's fair. I think it's a foul.
I know, but like so much has to happen.
Yeah, but Argentina
so much has to happen. He skipped past 3 Argentina players. Like
nutmegged
one of them, and you kind of look at it and go, hold on a minute, right? All right, that is a foul over in the corner, but he's run the length of the pitch, skipped past 3 Argentina players who can't make a tackle, and then they put one across the box and they score, and you go, hold on a minute, you've had 3 opportunities to win the ball back.
Yeah, they have. It was poor.
So how much advantage do you want?
Well, there's no law.
Maybe if you skip 1 tackle, but he's run the length of the pitch.
Right,
yeah, come on. I don't
hear
know how that's fair.
Do you know what?
I have got an issue with it.
Do you know what? I absolutely hear you loud and clear, but we both agree it's a foul.
Yeah, okay, but then Argentina might as well just stop playing.
Yeah, well, you can't because the foul's not given.
I know, but if they believe it's a foul and the VAR are going to go all the way back to it, Argentina might as well just stop and go,
I don't know.
Can't score, it don't matter because it's going to go back.
He's
gone past 3 players.
Unbelievable run. That's one of the best goals that's never going to stand in the World Cup.
We all know that in history, Pele's a GOAT. He's won the World Cup 3 times, the only man to have done so. But let me tell you about the one he didn't win, and that made him quit World Cups for good. Ahead of the 1966 World Cup in England, Brazil were favourites again. They won in both 58 and 62, meaning a historic three-peat was on. But their opponents all had plans to stop Pelé. Bulgaria set a trend in the first group game. The instruction? Take Brazil's main man out of the game. Pelé came away so battered and bruised he couldn't even take part in Brazil's next match against Hungary, which they lost. He returned for the next one against Portugal, but they channeled their inner Bulgaria. This is one of numerous brutal challenges throughout the 90s. Remember, this was pre-substitution, so Pelé had to hobble on before being carried off at the end. It's even tough to look at now. Brazil lost and were out in the group stage. Speaking years later, Pelé still had sore memories. At the time, he said he'd never play at the World Cup again. FIFA responded by introducing subs and red and yellow cards. Pelé did come back in 1970 as part of the greatest team in World Cup history.
Yeah, good morning to you. It's 8:32. It's a blistering Thursday, July the 9th. This is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Gabby Agbonlahor, and Arsenal and France legend Emmanuel Petit. We're here with Arnold Clark. Browse the UK's best used car deals and score your dream car today. Check out their website for more details. News just breaking that Danny Ings, the former Liverpool and England striker, is to join League One Leicester City this weekend on a one-year deal. I think you do a good job for them.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's have a little bit of this.
No, rien de Vieira. Emmanuel Petit, 3.
When you win something important with your national team, we don't talk about sport anymore.
That's probably the ugliest goal I ever seen.
Even those people who don't like football, don't like footballers, they stop you in the street because they are proud of what you've done for your country.
Rien de rien.
Grand ou petit.
Oh, je ne regrette rien.
Yeah, he's a regular on breakfast these days. Emmanuel Petit's got his very own feature, Grand au Petit. So how does it work? It's very simple. We've got 4 stories and scenarios creating debate, but do they represent a big or small problem, a grand au petit problem? Let's get started. France face Morocco tonight. First World Cup quarter-final, live, of course, on talkSPORT. Much made of the appointment of all Argentinian match officials for the game. Some suggest FIFA want another France-Argentina final. Others are reading between very different lines, with a French exit definitely likely to help Argentina. So, Emmanuel, all Argentinian officials, a grand or petit problem for you?
I would say petit. Why? Because, as I said before, referees will be under scrutiny for this game, just like the game before. And what happened after Paraguay 2 or Argentina against Egypt, that kind of games, I think it won't happen. I think they will do everything needed, on the pitch.
I mean, if we looked at that Argentina-Egypt game, how did you feel the officials did? Did they get things right or wrong?
I think a few things, I was a little bit worried about what was happening on the pitch. For example, the third goal, scored by Egypt was cancelled because the start of the action, then it was a foul. But I think when Egypt scored as well, the third goal, conceded the third goal, I think there were kind of 4 foul as well, and they didn't come back on the foul. So some decision, I know the referee has the right sometimes to get wrong, but now with the VAR, we have the right as well to come back on the wrong decisions. But I've been told that this is not the role of the VAR, so.
Look,
I leave you with that.
Well, it certainly fell Argentina's way, didn't it?
Yeah.
There's no question about it. Okay, next up, it's the final round of the World Cup when yellow cards can lead to suspensions. England have got Mark Gahey, Nico O'Reilly, Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham all walking that disciplinary tightrope. Others for other nations include Michael Olise, Bradley Barcola, Ferran Torres and Ashraf Hakimi. So players on bookings risking semi-final suspensions. For them, grand or petit problem?
Grand. Yeah, definitely grand. for example, Olise is so important for us, the link with the strikers, but what he brings into the team as well. We need a number 10, and he's acting properly the way we used to get number 10 like Platini or Zidane. So Grande, yeah. The same with England. Can you imagine Bellingham, getting a second yellow card, or Rice, for example, with all the injured players,
I want to ask you about Rice and Bellingham, because as a midfielder yourself, how difficult would it be going into such a tough game, knowing you can't get booked? How do you press? How it changes your game, surely?
It's a really good question, because I was asking myself the same question this morning. I was thinking, is it going to be the same way as usual, on the pitch, mark the man, fight for every single balls? If you do just one mistake, if you come to into the players just 1 second later, you can be booked.
Is it possible to put it out of your mind, or is it always there?
No, it's stick in your mind all the time, and you have this in conscience, and every time you will have to fight for a ball, you will think about it. So probably you won't be able to give 100% all the time, but this is the worst decision to make, because if you want to get a yellow card, this is exactly what you have to do. Don't give 100%, and then you are sure that you're going to make a mistake.
For instance, if you're Oscar Bob for Norway, you're playing against Nico O'Reilly, he can't be booked. You can just get at him time and time again, because you can't lunge, you can't even tackle, because you mistime that tackle as a left back as well. So it's going to be difficult for O'Reilly.
It's a mindset, It's really difficult, to cope with that kind of pressure.
Yeah. And from a France perspective, obviously Olise, a key player. Yeah. And for England, all four. Bellingham, Rice, Gahey, O'Reilly, all four are absolutely key players. Yeah. The man alongside us this morning, Gabby, he went in studs up on Cristiano Ronaldo and Roberto Martinez following Portugal's World Cup exit at the hands of Spain on Monday.
Listen, if you look at stats of like best manager per win ratio, he is Roberto Martinez, but it's about the trophies that you've won. And this Portugal side have flopped at World Cups. Yes, they won the Euros, fantastic Nations League, but they've flopped at World Cups. This generation of players will go down as a generation that underperformed. And Ronaldo, at times, it was walking football last night.
We all know Ronaldo's been a genius during the course of his career. But in this World Cup manner, was Ronaldo a grand ou petit problem for Portugal?
I will say a grand, yeah. With all the respect I have for Ronaldo, and I have a huge respect for him for his career. We all know that. There is no question about that. But the fact is, I didn't recognize some players in midfield. And the midfield, they need a link with the strikers. And even Ronaldo didn't have a link with the midfield players, but as well with the left back or the right back. So in terms of movement too, he's not only the responsible of the failure. I won't point the finger at him, but you asked me the question about him. So for me, it was sometimes really I was really frustrated to watch him on the pitch, because he is 41 years old, and you could see that on the pitch, and you could see as well it had an impact, on his teammates, in terms of movements, getting the ball behind the defenders, taking the space, behind the defenders, or moving all around, to get a link with your teammates up front. I didn't see that coming at any time, not even 5 minutes into the game. So I was maybe except Uzbekistan, but that was the only game I saw, fluidity, up front.
How do you feel like Gonzalo Ramos feels as well? Just signed for AC Milan.
Can you imagine that?
Transfer. He's in his prime. He scores in tournaments. He got the winner against Croatia, and to not play a minute, he must be thinking like, how many more tournaments am I going to be the substitute here?
I think it's over now. I think he can have a bright future, with the national team. But I was talking about the midfield players: Nunes, Vitinha, Fernandes. All of them are among the best players in their position in the world. What have they done, during the World Cup? Nothing at all. In fact, it was the complete opposite. I didn't recognize Vitinha and his teammates, from Paris Saint-Germain, because they are so brilliant for the last 2 seasons. They control, they conduct, they manage, to do everything needed, in the middle of the park, and I didn't see one single minute the confidence they had with Paris Saint-Germain. The same with Fernandes, with Manchester United. How many assists he's been giving since he arrived at this club? Have you seen one single ball he has given, during the tournament? Nothing at all.
No, one of the biggest disappointments of the entire tournament. There's no question about that. And you have to ask questions of the coach, but that's maybe for another day. So on to the last one, Manu. Marcus Rashford looks increasingly likely to start next season as a Manchester United player. United would still like to sell to get his wages of more than £300,000 a week.
Whoa.
Off the payroll. And Rashford ideally wants to leave Old Trafford, having fallen out with the club's hierarchy. So would Marcus Rashford staying at United be a grand or petit problem for the player and for the club?
I would say grande. Why? Because he doesn't want to come back to Manchester United. In fact, if it was the opposite, I would be happy, because this is what sport is about, fighting against the environment. I would love that. I would love him, to come back to Manchester and try everything he can, on the pitch and becoming again a hero over there. But he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't get the mindset to do that. He doesn't want to come back for any reason. I understand that. So I think the best solution for both is just sell him.
Yeah,
not at an amazing price.
Yeah, he wasn't happy there, was he? The ownership, Sir Jim Radcliffe said some words about him as well. He's also lost his number 10. Obviously, Cunha wears now. I just think it's silly to think that Marcus Rashford starts the season as a Manchester United player.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you'd have him back at Villa, but not on that wage.
No, we can't afford it.
Yeah,
we haven't got.
He's welcome at Arsenal.
Yeah, would you welcome him at Arsenal?
Yeah, we're searching for left winger for years now, and I think we have to get a proper, a really good winger, and I think he's among one of them. I know that he can do even more, but I think it's all about confidence, and I think the environment of Arsenal, with his teammates, I think that could be something very special for him.
Yeah, agreed.
We shall see what the future holds for him. At the moment, looks like he'll start the season at Manchester United, but things can change very quickly in football, can't they? Still to come on Breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Benchmarks Kitchens and Joinery. Get trade prices on kitchens to suit all styles and budgets at Benchmarks.
Yeah, lots to come. We'll turn our attention to England. We'll ask Manu, lots of things. If he thinks wingers are the biggest issue for England, if he thinks that Jordan Pickford has proved to him that he's a top goalkeeper, whether he believes that Martin Odegaard could be a big threat to England this weekend. We'll also be joined by Dan Evans, the British tennis player, to discuss the brilliance of Arthur Ferry at Wimbledon so far. And that was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. With pay-as-you-go hire from Travis Perkins, you can get straight on with the job. Available nationwide at all hire branches.
Egyptians afterwards were shouting "fix."
No,
not for me.
I was confused. All the outrage.
Yeah,
I don't think it was 2 fouls that they're saying weren't given. I don't think they were fouls.
No, I didn't.
McAllister on the edge, and then the Salah one. I didn't think they were both fouls. I feel like the Sandro Martinez, there was 2 fouls. There was a shirt pull, but it was more for me. If you look at it closely, it gets caught on his right, sort of Achilles.
Yeah,
so there was
I
2
agree.
fouls on Sandro Martinez.
From a footballing perspective, you didn't want that Egyptian goal to be ruled out because it was brilliant. But I saw why it was. I thought the McAllister, contact was fleeting with the Egyptian inside the box, was nowhere near the ball either. And Salah was Salah was looking for it.
Exactly.
Don't blame him, but I thought he was looking for it. And Egypt should look at themselves. They're 2-0 up. Yeah. They're 11 or 12 minutes away. Well, a bit more than that with added time. They had an unbelievable opportunity. Yeah. And they just...
You've got to hang on, haven't you?
Grasp it.
I'm sorry, though, Jeff. Watching the game, mate, this is the difference when people try and compare Messi and Ronaldo. It's not about Ronaldo, but in one of his quietest games, he still turns up, Lionel Messi. Yeah. Very quiet first half. When his country, his nation needs him, forget about the penalty miss. Anyone can miss penalties. He turned up, gets on the ball, gets the first assist for Romero. And then if you look at the second goal, Jeff, he's literally, I've seen the close-up clip, he's screaming for the ball, give it me, crosses one, blocked, crosses it again. And that finish, do you know how hard that finish is, Jeff? That is not an easy finish. To keep that down, to even relax and not just come sprinting forward like most players were. Honestly, this guy, no words for him. And even...
Hello, I'm Matt Fordham from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Morning, this is Jeff Stelling with the World Cup Breakfast Show. I'm Jeff Stelling. Gabby Agbonlahor is with me, so too the 1998 World Cup winner Emmanuel Petit. What's that, Gabby? Do you know? You know what that is?
What's that, sorry?
The music.
Justin Bieber. Great song, great album.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah, big fan.
Oh, right. He's in your bag, is he? Yeah. Look, Justin Bieber's joined the star-studded list of half-time performers in the World Cup final in New York. So he'll be on stage alongside Madonna, Shakira and BTS during the tournament's first ever sort of Super Bowl-style half-time show on July the 19th.
All your favourites, Emmanuel?
What, the singers?
Yeah.
I mean... Does Shakira have a long life contract with FIFA? Or?
Yeah, it must have. Look, they say that this halftime show is going to last 11 minutes. So you're not going to get to see or hear much of any of them if that is the case. But let's just assume that it runs longer than a regular halftime interval, Mano. How big a problem is that for the players?
I think it's part of the show, actually. There is so many things, that never happened before, and I can understand that, but sometimes it's going too far, to be honest with you. I think we should protect the game, the rhythm of the game, and, the cooling breaks. I mean, I simply can't. I know that sometimes it's very important, when you play under, just like, France playing against Paraguay, the heat, I think it was 35, something like that. I understand it. But most of the time they play aircon stadium, you know, with a rooftop clause, and then you stop the game. You see some great momentums, you know, on the pitch, and all of a sudden after the cooling breaks, everything change, and you see the opposite side, you know, coming back into the game. So I've seen so many different scenarios because of the cooling break. So I know this is part of the business, and we are becoming slowly but surely an American sport. So advertising, you know, it's the prime is for the TV, the commercial things. I understand that they're putting the money on the table, but I think it's going too far sometimes.
Shakira needs paying.
Yeah, I don't mind Shakira singing, but I think my question is she the only one?
I like it.
I like her as well, but she's been there since 2010.
Yes.
The South Africa World Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, is there any more singers on the planet you can sing during the tournament, or what's the point? Tell me, because sometimes I don't get it.
But surely, I mean, do you need a halftime show? Surely halftime is for you to go off and get some bovril and a burger.
Yeah. And the only thing I like about the half-time is where, like, you got kids on the pitch and they're trying to score a goal. That's what I like with your club teams, and you see that. You don't need performances.
Well, look, that's the direction it's going in. You're absolutely right, Manu. It's an Americanization
4 quarters
of the sport. I mean, maybe we need to be a bit less blinkered and just say, you know, this is what's going to happen. Let's sit back and enjoy it. Although I gather the BBC won't be showing that half-time show. Right, let's look ahead to the quarterfinals, shall we? In partnership with Sure.
High-pressure picks on talkSPORT with Sure. Non-stop protection deodorant that won't ever let you down.
Quarterfinals kicking off tonight. France against Morocco. Of course, we've got our eyes, though, set on Saturday evening as England take on Norway. It's live on talkSPORT as well. Norway being excellent so far in their first ever World Cup quarter-final. They'll have a big fella up front we all know all about in this country. Erling Haaland, 7 goals so far. Both of the goals, barely had a touch against Brazil, but managed to score both of the goals. So how on earth do you stop him? Let's ask a man who's already faced him in this World Cup, knows plenty about him as well. Iraq, of course, losing to them 4-1 in the group stage. Couple of goals for Haaland then. It's the Iraq assistant manager, René Moulenstein. Morning, René.
Morning, René.
Good morning, guys.
Pretty straightforward question, but the answer's not so straightforward. How do you stop Haaland?
I've heard that question about 10 times this week. Well, first of all, you need to try to stop him from getting the service. That's one, because obviously Haaland is a typical, obviously, striker, typical box player that, as we can see, makes great box runs, very aggressive in the box, on the floor and in the air. And he can also score from outside the box, and he can score from a counter-attack. So there's all these things that made him the top striker that he is. So in my opinion, the first thing is, if you stifle him from getting on the ball, that is one thing. So you need to try to stop the surface, in my opinion. And then, obviously, in terms of if you really have to handle him, you have to be basically constantly in a really good defensive position to making sure that you can sort of anticipate what he's going to do next, because he always has pre-movements, whether it's a step back and then come forward in front of the defender, or whether it's a step forward and then getting behind. So, yeah, that is a big task for whoever's going to have to handle him.
Rennie, when you look at the goal against Brazil, the first one, Gabriel, he's got to get tighter to him, hasn't he? Because if you look at his movement, Haaland, he's literally strolling into the box and then one little movement and he's gone. You have to get tight to him, don't you?
Absolutely. I think Gabriel was in a complete wrong position for that goal, as well as I think sometimes Haaland. I don't know, but I looked at him and I looked at the game, and I think he had 4 touches in the first half. He almost drags the defenders into a false sense of security, like, oh, he's not at it today, you know, he's making, and then suddenly, bang, he comes in, and that split second of not being in the right position, and Haaland or Gabriel should have been in a position where Haaland can't actually even attack the ball. So you need to make sure you're that tight that you can give him a nudge, you know, that he's off balance. But if you don't do it, he's got so much power and strength, you're too late.
I felt in that game, Rennie, that Martin Odegaard had sort of the freedom in the midfield, if you like. He's not going to find that he gets that amount of freedom against the English midfield, is he?
I wouldn't think so. But what surprised me, Jeff, was that I anticipated that on the game. We all know what we like to see from Brazil. And Brazil was actually playing like Norway, and Norway was playing like Brazil. They had 66% of the ball, but they didn't really turn that possession into really goal-scoring opportunities, not in the first half at least. And then, Brazil never really burst into gear. Obviously, they got the penalty, they missed the penalty. And then when Norway got the noses in front, they actually had Brazil exactly where they wanted to have them, and they couldn't change gears. But they've got a strong midfield. They brought in Patrick Berg for that Brazil game. I like the boy from Bode Glimt. He's a good player. Well. Very good on the ball. Berger, the big, tall number 6, he's basically controlling in front of the back line. And Ødegaard has got the freedom to roam. But they're good footballers, and especially not only that, but also they've got some really tricky wingers now with Nusa and Oscar Bob if they bring him on. It's interesting to see how what you're going to do, because we looked at it obviously with Norway, and we felt that we could expose Norway, especially on their left-hand side, because their right back Ryerson, the blonde boy, he likes to roam forward, he likes to go forward, he's not great in tracking back. So if you can exploit that space in transition, whether you have a winger there or you have quick transition, you go there, you can really hurt them. Because if you look at the chances that we've created against them, that was basically when they moved further up the pitch. And exactly happened with Brazil with Endrick. As soon as he came on, they were a little bit spread out, bang, straight in the middle, and he was 1v1 with the goalkeeper. So there's definitely opportunities there to exploit them.
Were you surprised how good they were, though, defensively, in the sense of Aya? I know he made the mistake for the penalty against Brazil, but I think he's been had a very good tournament. And also the goalkeeper, Nyland, ex-Villa goalkeeper, he had a fantastic game, didn't he, against Brazil?
Really, because we always have an analysis about the opposition goalkeeper as well, to see if there's any trends that we can exploit. And there was definitely trends. I think he overcommits himself to the near post. If the ball is coming in the wide areas for crosses, that's how we scored the goal. So if England is clever and they get to good crossing positions, especially from the byline, put it in the back post cross, you get opportunities there. And also in 1v1s, he's very erratic in coming out, because in my opinion, Endrick should have scored that goal. When he came out, he ends up in nowhere's land a lot of times. But he had a great game, great saves. Aya is very good in everything in front of him. Everything that gets exposed in behind him, he struggles. He's not the quickest on the turn. And then he has got those erratic actions like he did with giving the penalty away. So in my opinion, you need to make as many runs in behind as you can.
Rennie, what's your sort of overview of this World Cup then? The hydration breaks, the officiating. How did it all work in your opinion?
Well, I heard Emmanuel just saying, listen, with the hydration breaks, it's typical and Americanized, the commercial things that they put in there, where we all know that, but there's not much we can do. The officiating, for me, it's the inconsistency. That is, I think, what upsets a lot of people in terms of when VAR gets involved, when they're not getting involved. We all saw the Morocco against Argentina game, and you look at it and, I think it would be 50-50. 50 people say, yes, he stepped on his foot and he held his shirt. It's a foul. 50% would say, come on, it's not a, it's not a, a young kids game. Come on, those fouls, those happen all over the pitch. And again, they blew it back. The goal gets disallowed. Would have been probably one of the best goals scored at the World Cup. And then Salah gets, tripped up similar fashion, and they didn't even have a look at it. And that is, I think, where the confusion comes and the irritation and the frustration kicks in with a lot of people, with the inconsistency of the officiating.
Yeah, which, of course, VAR was meant to be the answer to that inconsistency, wasn't it? Rennie, thank you so much.
Thank you, Rennie.
No problem.
And that was a look ahead with Sure, non-stop protection deodorant that won't ever let you down. Simon from Warrington says, if Arsenal want a deal for Bruno Guimaraes, then Newcastle simply have to ask about the possibility of getting Gabriel Jesus as part of the deal, or even Max Dowman on loan for a season. Simon, I don't think the second half of that is going to happen.
No.
Maybe Gabriel Jesus is a possibility, though. Coming up, we'll ask Emmanuel Petit whether the Mexico will prove to him, I think I know the answer to this, that England can win the World Cup.
High pressure picks on talkSPORT with Sure, official sponsor of FIFA World Cup 2026.
rate your free wind-up merchants on talkSPORT. Who are the top 3? I would say you've now took the crown. It used to be Durham.
Right.
Durham was the wind-up merchant king of talkSPORT, wasn't he? You are now number 1. You do realise that, right?
I don't wind people up.
What do you mean?
Okay, what have I done recently?
You wore a Mexican outfit and done Has Anyone Seen Mexico? And guacamole and pinatas and...
There was no Mexican.
You can't tell me you're not a wind-up merchant.
Not Jay.
You've got...
No, I get a bad rap, mate.
What do you mean? You've got a cowboy hat on?
No. I do get a bad rap, though.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to remind you of another one.
Go on.
Every time Scotland played, you had the other team's jersey on.
Yeah, that was bad luck. That was really bad luck on my part.
That bad luck, was it?
Yeah. So they played Haiti, right? The first game they played Haiti. I said to the bosses, I'm going to put my hand in this bag and I'm going to pull out a shirt. The first shirt pulled out happened to be the day before they played Haiti shirt. So I've got to go through with it. Next one was the Morocco. Well, I told you, mate, I spilled tea all over my coffee or whatever it was.
So you don't think you're a wind-up merchant?
No, I'm just unlucky.
What about the Ange mask?
What about it?
Well, I'm just giving you examples of you winding people up.
Well, how's wearing an Ange mask winding people up? Who's getting wound up with that? Some of those are bad luck. Some of those I've had some cruel luck, mate. That coffee incident, mate. What can I do? Yeah. And now the Brazil shirt. What do you want me to do?
If there's one thing Brazil loves more than samba and sunshine, it's football, or as they call it, futebol. And trust me, this love story goes way back. It all started in 1884, when a young Brazilian named Charles Miller returned from England aged 21, carrying a pair of footballs and a Hampshire FA rulebook. He was basically the original influencer, bringing back trends from abroad. And just like that one mate who insists you have to try their new obsession, Miller convinced everyone to give this little English sport a go. Spoiler alert, it caught on. The entire nation fell head over boots for the game. And fast forward a few decades, it was time for Brazil to start playing in the World Cup. Then came 1958, the year a 17-year-old kid named Pele showed up and said, "Don't worry, I got this." Brazil won its first World Cup and respectively put down its mark on the global football stage. From there, Brazil kept adding stars to the jersey. 1958, 1962, 1970, 1994, 2002, making it the only country with 5 World Cup titles and the only country to participate in every tournament. Not that they like to brag or anything. Okay, maybe a little. And the style? Pure magic. Jogo bonito, the beautiful game. It became Brazil's signature. Think dazzling footwork, joyful play, and the occasional move that makes you wonder if gravity just took the day off. Today, football isn't just a sport in Brazil. It's part of the national identity. From street games played with anything even slightly round to packed stadiums exploding with colour and noise, Brazil lives and breathes football. So, the next time you see that iconic yellow jersey, just remember, it all started with one guy, 2 footballs, and a nation ready to fall in love.
Good morning. It's 6 minutes past 9. It's Thursday, July the 9th, final hour of talkSPORT's Breakfast. We're here with Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it online. And the we is me, Jeff Stelling, Gabby Agbonlahor, the 1998 France World Cup winner, Emmanuel Petit. Got a couple of great texts in. We were talking about the halftime show. Expected the World Cup final, and got an anonymous one here. You should have put your name on this because it's brilliant. It said, why don't we arrange a football match to be played halfway through a Shakira concert and see how that goes down with her fans? And Simon says, imagine a halftime show down at Millwall. I don't think it'd go down too well.
No chance.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it would be Shakira and so on and so forth, would it? Right, England's quarter-final against Norway, just a couple of days away now in Miami. Place for the last four up for grabs. One of England's standout performers, of course, it's gone without saying, really, is Jude Bellingham. He's done an absolutely fantastic tournament so far. So before the tournament, Villa's Morgan Rogers was battling against Bellingham for a starting spot, or so it seems. Well, he's been asked about Bellingham in his press conference yesterday.
Yeah, I told you all that before. I said that you would. I'm not surprised, and neither is anyone in the squad, of how he's played, how he's performed, how he's taken big key moments in games. Even the game the other night, probably didn't start the game the way we've liked, and in the space of 5 minutes he's put his fingerprints on the game and kind of taken hold of the game, and that's the type of player he is, and that's the type of players you need in big moments, in tough environments, tough atmospheres. When things aren't going your way, you need your best players to stand up, and he's done that in pretty much every game so far. And yeah, we're not surprised.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think anyone else should be surprised, really. He keeps on doing it time and time again.
Manny, have you been surprised by how well Bellingham's done?
No, because I think he has shown, great attitude, on great games for the last few years, and I think he's been frustrated so far, for the last 2 seasons he had, with Madrid. So this World Cup is very special for big players. It's the same for Mbappe, for example, with France. He's on a mission, and I think Bellingham knows exactly that. He's waiting for those kind of moments, on the pitch, taking responsibility with a great character. All of a sudden, in space of 1 or 2 minutes, he can change the momentum of a game, easily. So he's a type of guy who can win a game by himself, And I think the dependence of Harry Kane with Bellingham might be a problem, for England somewhere.
I do think it was fair that people were saying that Morgan Rogers might start instead because Bellingham had injury problems. He hadn't played much near the end of the season. So those takes by people weren't wrong. But what we've all learned is you can't be experienced in tournaments, can you, Emmanuel? And that's what Bellingham has had, and that's what he's done in this tournament.
And I'm not sure that here in England the fans appreciate Bellingham on the just level, on the right level, because he has received so many sticks and critics, here in England. I can see that
in the Euros, the last Euros, he, like most of the England team, was pretty disappointing.
People judge him all the time by the way he's hiding on the pitch. Sometimes, he's arrogant, things like this, But the limits between arrogance and confidence are very, very thin. So it's hard to say. But I'm judging him only on what he does on the pitch, and I think he's going step by step, but he's becoming more and more important for England.
Would you call him a great player?
I think he's a very good player. Is he among the greatest players on the planet? Actually, no.
You think he
can be? He can reach this level because I think he has the potential for it. He has the character, the attitude as well. He must understand as well that sometimes things doesn't go the way you want on the pitch, but you have the quality to change it. So you have to focus on this. Sometimes he disappears, into the game. We don't see him, but all of a sudden he comes back, and he shines straight away. So I think he can be one of the greatest.
Must be tough for Morgan Rogers being out there, having, being the man in possession of the shirt prior to the tournament. A lot of people expected that he would start, me included, actually. Yeah. Partly because we don't see Jude Bellingham week in, week out in the Premier League. Now he's got to show he's a good tourist.
Yeah, I think, listen, he got on in the last game, didn't he? Even though it was a short amount of time. But let's not forget, Jude Bellingham and Morgan Rogers are best friends off the pitch. They come through the U teams at England together. They're friends. There's no rivalry between them. He'll be happy that England are getting through to the latter stages. And if he's called upon, then I'm sure he'll want to do his bit. Look what his rise has been Morgan Rogers. 2.5 years ago, he was playing the Championship for Middlesbrough. Now he's getting on at World Cups. You'll want to play more. But I'm sure, like other players that haven't had much game time in this tournament, he'll be there when needed and be a good support act. You can see his interviews. He's smiling. He's happy. He knows Bellingham's that guy. So I don't think there's any problem.
Yeah. Obviously, England's midfield so far, Bellingham, Rice, Anderson. Widely considered, certainly in England, he was one of the best in the tournament. But Troy Deeney's been saying that so far, Rice and Anderson, there's been a bit of a problem, claiming that England have yet to dominate a game so far in the tournament. Is he right? Have England failed to dominate games in midfield?
I was not impressed by the way they dominate the game. I can understand why Troy said that, but in the meantime, I didn't see opponents, being stronger than England as well in this compartment. So I said this is not only the midfield players, it's the whole unit. I used to play for many years, in midfield, and if you don't get the support of the right back, the left back, you don't stick all together. And if the striker doesn't do the run, to come back after they lose the ball, it's becoming straight away difficult, for the midfield players. But I can understand in a way that when you look at Rice, he's probably one of the best in his position. Bellingham as well. Anderson, I think he has a really bright future. I think he has impressed me a lot with the ball. Sometimes without the ball, I'm quite wondering, the tactical balance as well. But I think we can expect more from them. Definitely.
How difficult can it be, though, Emmanuel? In your career in World Cups, in tournaments, because we all expected, okay, we need to beat Croatia by 3 goals, we need to go and beat Ghana by 3, and then we should beat Panama by 5, we should beat Congo by 5. What's it like in a tournament? It's not always the case, is it?
No, definitely not. It's funny when I see, the betting, things, before the game, and I'm thinking this is not what we expect, on the pitch. I know that England are favorite against Norway, but when you look at Norway, they look really, really strong, as a unit, as a team. Of course, they have weakness, but England must be aware that if they don't get the position of the ball in this game, and this is where I agree with Troy Deeney, for example. I think with the player they have, England, they should be more confident with the ball. They should show more commitment with the ball, and composure as well. And this is where, something is missing.
Yeah. Well, we shall see if we can show that. I mean, if you look, on paper.
I'm just sorry to disturb you, Jeff, but for this game, England against Norway, I'm just wondering if Norway get the ball, is it what England wants into this game? Waiting, sit back, trying to play in counter-attack, or try to get the ball, the position of the ball, and try to conduct and manage, this game. So this is for me one of the key of this game. Yeah. Are you going to react with the ball and without the ball?
I mean, it's interesting because Norway had a lot more possession of the ball against Brazil than most people had imagined they would do.
Although the tactics of Ancelotti, though, did he say leave them with it? Yeah. I don't think we should do that. I think we should go after them. I really do.
Yeah, pressure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Text from Ryan. He said, Bellingham's been very good, but I think Arsenal's Morgan Rogers should get a chance in the next game. Ryan, dream on.
130 million, please.
Yeah, Bruno Guimaraes is going there.
Cash.
I just don't see Rogers going there as well. But thank you very much indeed for the text. Great game to look forward to, though, isn't it? Can't wait for that. Norway coming up this weekend against England, Saturday, 10 o'clock. And tonight before that, France up against Morocco as well. Could be one of the games of the tournament. Coming up, we turn our attention to the wider world. Professor Brian Cox is here to convince Gabby that there's a big wide world there outside of Birmingham.
Is there?
Yeah, apparently.
Michael Owen, in his Daily Mail column, has decided, I think, to take a bit of a swing at how we have reacted to that Arsenal Freudian slip there. That England result the other night. And he says, let's not confuse drama with quality. England must improve. He's basically dismissed the calls that it was brave. He says, I think we mistake what bravery in football is. We are celebrating players throwing themselves in front of shots as if they have gone to war. And he offers his own interpretation of bravery, which is real bravery is wanting the ball when 80,000 people are willing you to make a mistake. It's showing for possession when everyone else is hiding. It's taking the ball off your mate when he's in trouble, knowing if you lose it, you'll be criticised. That's football bravery, and that's what England need more of if they are going to win this World Cup. In the context of how it made this country feel as well, this feels like quite a miserable take. I know that we need to start looking ahead to Norway and the improvements that we need on the pitch, but for the moment,
100%.
You know, I think
let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate. It's Wednesday.
I totally disagree, Michael Owen. I feel that like players in that atmosphere, you know what I mean? Like everyone's talking about the altitude. You've got 80,000 Mexican fans. I think it is heroic in a way of like you getting on the ball, Jude Bellingham getting on the ball, Dan Burn throwing themselves up in front of shots, doing that for your country, knowing how much football means to this country. People are going through a tough time. It's not the best state at the moment of the country. And those players, I think, like, hold themselves in a high manner because that's what you want to see from your team. How many times have we been in tournaments where, oh, you're playing against Mexico away. Oh, okay, we don't want to turn up. Oh, you know, some players crumble. Every player, even the subs that come on.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Good morning, this is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Gabby Agbonlahor. Right now, it's time for a bit of this.
He's an alien.
K2 1AB. Who gives a...
What is an alien? It's just somebody that might inhabit another planet.
Luckily, I'm well travelled. I've seen loads of aliens, Jeff.
I've been in space.
Yeah, who cares?
Exactly.
Yeah, who cares,
Absolute
Katie?
nonsense.
Yes.
Do you believe there are aliens walking about? Yeah.
Alan Brazil
and Gabby Agbonlahor.
Was it me? Oh, I didn't know.
You're in there somewhere, you know. Intellectual crowd we are on this breakfast show, you know that. The voice you're hearing in the background there is none other than Brian Cox, a UN champion for space, professor of particle physics at Manchester University, and about to embark on a new world tour, Emergence. So tell us about the tour. I mean, I've been reading about it. It sounds like it's actually really spectacular.
It is. I mean, it's arenas. And if you'd have asked me, 10 or 15 years ago, can you stand in an arena like the O2 or the Co-op in Manchester and talk about astronomy, cosmology, the beginning of the universe, life in the universe? I do talk about aliens, in at least in the sense of microbes on Mars. We can talk about that later. But I would have said, no, you can't do that. But we found a way of doing it with big LED screens, the images that we get from the telescopes like the James Webb Telescope or the images from the surface of Mars are so beautiful now that you can build a show around it. But
how difficult is it to explain things that to numbskulls like me and Gabby here might seem completely impossible, to get our heads round?
I think the thing is, I mean, you in that clip you played, so I think we all ask questions like, are there aliens? Are we alone in the solar system? How did the universe begin? I always get, what's the universe expanding into? What happened at the Big Bang? So I think that the point is that we're all curious and we all ask those questions. The wonderful thing is that we're actually trying to answer some of them and getting closer to answers. And there's a lot we don't know, which is one of the central ideas in the show.
What are the questions that you're most often asked then?
Oh, I mean, what happened before the Big Bang is a good question, because it's about the origin of the universe. And it's a good question. The answer is we don't know, but we think there might have been a before the Big Bang, which surprises everybody. So that's one. And not is there life on Mars? Or how far do you have to go? Are there other civilizations in a galaxy like the Milky Way?
Yeah.
Is time travel possible?
So into the past, we don't think so.
Okay.
But you can go into the future at different rates.
Okay.
So it depends. So you've seen the film Interstellar, right? Which is that film was written by a Nobel Prize winner initially called Kip Thorne. So all that stuff about time passing differently for different people is the way the world works.
Yeah. I didn't know this, but it says here in front of me, Gabby, that you don't believe the moon landings were real.
I don't. Part of me is a bit like.
Could you educate him, Brian?
Well, you educate me. I'm a bit like. Did it happen?
Yeah, I mean, it did. I've met quite a few of the people. I've been really lucky to meet some of the people that walked on the moon. And Charlie Duke is one of them. So he was one of the last people to walk on the moon. And he said to me that his dad remembered the Wright brothers' flight, the first flight. And then he saw his son walk on the moon. So it was the rate of progress was wonderful in those 60 years. But the answer to the question really is that if you think about the alternative, it's that governments are really competent so that they can cover up something like that. If you think just that single sentence, government is competent, you can see why. There's no way you can cover things like that up for 50 years.
No.
So, and the technologies that were developed then were, we're all used to and benefit from today. Charlie Duke said to me, actually, because I said to him, when he applied to be an astronaut in the early 60s, and then he walked on the moon in 1970, I think it was. And I said, did you think that was going to be possible? And he said, when you've got 400,000 engineers and unlimited budget, you can do a lot.
Now, look, this tour has taken you UK, Ireland, Europe, US, Australia, Asia. Well, worldwide, isn't it? It's a worldwide tour. That season ticket you've got at Oldham's not going to get much use, is it?
No, I actually haven't got one at the moment. I had one because I grew up near the ground, and so that was just my local football club, and I could just walk up in 5 minutes. And then we eventually we got season tickets, and that was just coincided with the glory years of Oldham. So people forget, founder members of the Premier League. There was Joe Royle, the manager, and we had Dennis Irwin at left back, and we had these players, Mike Milligan and Neil Redfern, all these great players, Rick Holding, Andy Ritchie famously, then Graham Sharp later. So we had this, it was just fortunate that when I was 18 and I had enough money then to buy a season ticket. It was the time when Liverpool were there and Man United. It was, and we're on our way back now.
Yeah.
I think
back in the Football League, which is great.
Well, because we were famous, unfortunately, for being the only club to have been relegated from the Premiership out of the Football League. Yeah. But I was at Wembley actually last year. It was one of the great football games. 2 goals in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And so we're back.
Have you had any chance to watch the World Cup? What have you made of England so far?
Yeah, I watched it, obviously, the Mexico game. I've got to say, it was one of the best, you agree, I suppose, one of the best World Cup games I've ever seen in terms of just tension and the story. And so, I gave a prediction actually earlier. Someone said, what's your prediction for Norway? And I said 3-1 England.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I think we've got every chance. I'll ask you about Messi. You think Messi's from a different planet? When he plays the game?
I'll go with that. Yeah, all right then. I'll go with your alien conspiracy theory that he's from Alpha Centauri on that one.
Incredible. A lot of love for you out here, by the way, as well at the moment, Brian. Ryan said Brian Cox is a national treasure. I could listen to him all day long. What a fascinating guy. Mike from Dudley said, I saw Brian's Horizon tour. Couldn't get tickets to his Emergence tour. Please tell him from me that I thank him immensely for fulfilling my curiosity with the information that's relayed in a way that actually sticks in people's minds.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
He's dodging the ones that are saying...
No, there aren't.
Positive, mate.
There really aren't.
Yes.
There are one or two people who are a bit sceptical about moon landings, but you'll get that everywhere, won't you? So, So how long will you be away for?
Well, I mean, it goes on until 2028 at the moment. I just came back from Australia, so we've done quite a lot of it already. But it just keeps going.
Yeah.
We've got quite a lot in America, actually, in Canada. So it's a big endeavour. And as I said, when I started doing these things, I never thought it would be like that.
Yeah. Well, if you thought you were going to be doing arenas, it would probably have been as a musician.
Well, I do. So I do. You asked earlier about these complicated ideas. There's one bit where I thought quantum mechanics. Right? Everyone asks about quantum mechanics, and it's a very difficult thing to explain. There's an analogy with musical notes, and so I thought I wanted to be in a band in the 80s. I kind of was in a band in the late 80s, and so I got a guitar. So I walk on stage with a guitar, which I say is the most 80s thing other than my haircut. So there's a bit of my old, but that was my ambition, to stand on a stage and play.
I know you see everyone wants to know about quantum mechanics. So you're often asked about quantum mechanics.
Is that what I said?
You're safe here. You will not be asked about quantum mechanics while you're in this studio.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. Think England will win the World Cup?
I mean, you're right. I mean, what would you say? I mean, France, great
Favourites,
team.
aren't they? Yes.
Argentina can always do it, can't they? Because of Messi.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't be
we
surprised.
can say someone other than France because Emmanuel Petit's not in the studio.
What's the final? So that it could be France in the final.
Could be France in the final.
Could it be Argentina? Argentina semis.
Yeah, we'd play Argentina in the semi-finals. Yeah, that would be it. France, in theory, France could play Spain in the other semi-finals. So,
not very, very fond of us, are they, the Argentinians? There's a clip going around after the game singing some not very nice songs about England.
Yeah, well, it does.
Why?
I wonder why.
That'd be a great semis, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
France, Spain, England, Argentina. That's what.
Agreed.
And I know there's a lot of feeling between England and Argentina. It's one of Argentina. If you've been there, it's one of the great countries.
Yes,
fantastic place. So brilliant. When does the tour get underway, Brian? Then it's already underway.
It's already underway. Yes. So we're in the UK. The arenas are mainly October.
Yeah.
So most of
where are you going in the UK?
We're the Birmingham, Manchester, the O2 here in London, Nottingham, Leeds, Sheffield, Glasgow. Then we're Belfast, Dublin, that kind of area.
So, you mentioned Birmingham first, Jeff. I like that.
Birmingham.
Yeah.
So my personal record for the largest number of people that came to one of my shows is held by Birmingham.
Yeah.
And I was at Manchester the other day, and come on, you've got, so the gauntlet is down. Can we? It'll be a big ask.
I love it. Look, if you want to go and see Brian Cox and the Emergence Tour, you can get your tickets via briancoxlive.co.uk. Is that right? Brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Brian, thanks for popping in, mate.
Thank you very much.
That was Professor of Particle Science, Brian Cox. Coming up, we'll turn our attention back to the brilliance of Arthur Ferry and whether he could go on to win Wimbledon. That's next.
The idea it's a clear tournament has been fixed. I think that's a bit powerful. Let's have it right. Because at the end of the day, if you were fixing the tournament, you'd keep Brazil in it, surely. You're fixing the tournament, you try and keep them in it. If you want worldwide viewings, and advertising and money and all that and revenues and fixing it for the right reasons so the superpowers are inside the competition.
Well, we can evaluate the stupidity, but we can dissect the stupidity of individual statements. But we're talking about the premise of what.
I don't think that's stupid. I think it's harsh. I don't think it's a stupid comment. I think it's just in the moment. It's got wrapped up in the moment. There's billions of people.
Stupid comment. You can't run around saying.
Simon, there's billions of people.
It's an uninformed, uneducated, unsubstantiated, with no empirical background behind it. Because it's an uneducated view. You can't tell something's fixed unless you know it to be factually the case.
No,
so
I just said his emotions run riot.
But it's a stupid comment because it's not seeded in anything. So what the argument is about and debate is about is whether people should be able to say these sort of things and whether the consequences of it should be far-reaching. And what we're talking about is how people should operate.
I think Simon's right in this one, is he not, Sean? It is clear this tournament has been fixed. Then that guy boards a plane and flies back to Egypt and goes unpunished. I mean, my God, that is conspiratorial.
No, I totally agree. It's too powerful. That part of the statement is too powerful.
Yeah.
The rest of the referee's not fair. We've all said that in different variances down the years. The injustice was clear. I mean, look, the argument going back to, the facts of it as a manager, forgetting that last part of the statement, which is powerful, and you can't forget it, I understand, but let's just, for our question and answer here, forget it. The injustice is the foul, isn't it? They're going, why are you bringing it back to that foul? Why are you allowing that foul to create such a moment in a game and bring it back for their goal? The goal that was disallowed.
But the irony of it is, if you interviewed a referee, right, and a referee went out and said, these clowns are unfair, the players cheat, the managers harass and abuse us on the side, they'd be outraged.
We all know that in history, Pele's a GOAT. He's won the World Cup 3 times, the only man to have done so. But let me tell you about the one he didn't win, and that made him quit World Cups for good. Ahead of the 1966 World Cup in England, Brazil were favourites again. They won in both 58 and 62, meaning a historic three-peat was on. But their opponents all had plans to stop Pele. Bulgaria set a trend in the first group game. The instruction? Take Brazil's main man out of the game. Pele came away so battered and bruised he couldn't even take part in Brazil's next match against Hungary, which they lost. He returned for the next one against Portugal, but they channeled their inner Bulgaria. This is one of numerous brutal challenges throughout the 90s. Remember, this was pre-substitution, so Pele had to hobble on before being carried off at the end. It's even tough to look at now. Brazil lost and were out in the group stage. Speaking years later, Pele still had sore memories. At the time, he said he'd never play at the World Cup again. FIFA responded by introducing subs and red and yellow cards. Pele did come back in 1970 as part of the greatest team in World Cup history.
Good morning, very nearly 9:35, Thursday, July the 9th. This is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Gabby, Agbonlahor, Emmanuel Petit and Arnold Clark. Browse the UK's best used car deals and score your dream car today. Check out their website for more details. Gabby, did you understand anything Brian Cox said?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. As might have been apparent, I did not have a Scooby what was going on.
Yeah, I'm just glad that it's confirmed. They did go to the moon. Yeah. Nice to know.
Rick has texted, he said, ask Brian Cox if our universe is inside of a massive black hole. It keeps you up at night worrying. Right. Some breaking news that will interest Man United fans out there. United have revealed the location for their new 100,000-seater stadium. It'll sit at the heart of a new stadium district. It's just 350 metres or so north of the existing stadium. Now, a few days ago, we were talking about British underachievement at Wimbledon, but one man, in a week or so, has changed all of that. Arthur Ferry, wild card entrant at Wimbledon, booked his place in the semi-finals yesterday. Unbelievable, the semi-finals, with a straight sets victory over the ninth seed Flavio Cobolli. Over on talkSPORT's unmissable podcast, Off Court with Greg Rosetsky, the former British number one has been taking a deep dive into what makes Arthur so special.
Well, health is your wealth. That's what stopped him in the past. It's not his tennis game. He was one of the top college players as well. He was #1 for Stanford. He's one of the best in the American college system. And, he's finally healthy. It's having that consistent run week in, week out. This will give him immense confidence. No matter what happens, whether he wins or loses, if he wins, it's an even bigger deal because that gets him closer to top 20, making a major final. And he's got a real shot. And then you look at his game, and there's no real weaknesses. We talked about second serve being a problem. He won 66% of second serve points. I mean, that number is astonishing. If you're 50, 54 plus on second serve points, that's outstanding. 66 is ridiculous. So it was dominant. He's improving all the time. And if he stays healthy, there's no reason why at the end of the year, he's not in the top 20 in the world. Nobody's going to want to play him.
Whoa, that is a meteoric rise, isn't it? So it's Alexander Zverev next for Ferry in tomorrow's first semi-final. He's the second seed German. Of course, the current number one, Jannik Sinner, goes up against 39-year-old Novak Djokovic in the other semi-final. It should be a fantastic clash. Joining us now, former British tennis star Dan Evans. Morning to you, Dan.
Morning, Dan.
Morning, guys. How are we?
Yeah, really good, thanks, mate. Look, we've all been staggered by what Arthur Ferry has achieved during the course of the last week and a half or so. Has it surprised you?
Yeah, of course. Surprised everybody. I mean, he's always been a good tennis player, good shot maker. And just on the previous clip, what Greg said, he's healthy now. Before the grass, I think he'd only played 10 tournaments this year, which isn't a big amount, but his quality's certainly been there, and it's amazing to see, and it's really good that he's doing this now, and sort of got the country on his back. Yeah,
Dan, he's really embracing the fans, isn't he, at Wimbledon on centre court? How important is it when you are playing at Wimbledon that the fans make a big difference to your game?
Yeah, he's using them to his advantage. I mean, it's hardly the most raucous crowd in the world, centre court. So that he's trying to get them up and at the opponent as well, which I liked yesterday. It's obviously clear that Cobolli was a bit not starstruck, but a bit in awe of the situation. On centre court playing a quarterfinals, he would have thought that's a big opportunity for him. But Arthur was, by far the better player. It wasn't a contest in the end, and he used the crowd at the right time to got them nice and loud when he needed to if he had a tough moment. And it's amazing that he's won a quarterfinals in straight sets, and he didn't ever look like losing.
Yeah. Greg was talking about there, a place in the world's top 20 is open to him, if you like. Is there any danger this could be a flash in the pan, that he's better suited by grass and other surfaces and he might not repeat it?
I think after this tournament, if I was him, I'd be taking stock. I mean, there's not been... Grass is his best surface. There's a lot of other big tournaments out there. I'm not sure this is normal. It isn't normal to be in the semis of a Grand Slam for a guy. I'm not sure what his ranking is, 140. He was obviously a wild card into the event. So, I have to manage expectations after this. But yeah, as you said, I think flash in the pan isn't the best way I can describe it, but it's definitely not normal, and he needs to, after the tournament, take stock and get back to practicing, training. He'll be in all the bigger tournaments, which is a really big positive, and he can definitely do some damage on the tour. Top 20, I'm not sure just yet, but hopefully he can.
How tough is the semi-final going to be? Because he's against Zverev, who recently won the French Open, a very good player. How tough is this opponent for him?
Be like you playing me at paddle, Gabby.
Oh, okay. Well, no chance then.
Listen, Zverev just won the French Open. It's a tough matchup for me. Arthur has to be physically tired as well. I think Zverev's a massive favourite. Obviously, we all want Arthur to win, but Zverev's a big favourite for me, and I can't see it myself. I really hope he can win, but it's another step up for Arthur. I think it'd probably be the highest ranked player he's ever played. He'd be full of confidence as well. Zverev coming off a Grand Slam, win his first ever. He'll be looking at this as a massive opportunity to win the tournament. So. Yeah, it's a real tough match for me.
Let's just touch on the other semi-final, shall we, Dan? Jannik Sinner against Novak Djokovic. I mean, I sat for 5.25 hours the other day watching 39-year-old Novak Djokovic, just turn back time, really. It's astonishing the level he's playing at 39, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was an unbelievable match. I just don't know how he can recover to then beat Jannik Sinner. That's the big thing. Obviously, grass is his best surface, but it's, I feel like I'm talking bad about Novak, but I just can't see him being able to recover at that age. He'll definitely have done everything possible to give himself the best chance, but I look at Jannik as unstoppable in the semi-finals. Yeah.
Dan, brilliant. Thank you very much indeed.
Look after yourself, pal.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Top man.
Alan, Brian Cox has caused a bit of a stir.
Oh, no.
Alan says, Jeff, I think Brian Cox was on a hiding to nothing talking about astrophysics with Gabby. Last week, he'd never even heard of Ben Nevis. You'd heard of Ben Nevis?
Of course I had.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming up, we'll be bringing you more on the build-up to the World Cup quarterfinals. And we'll ask Mana Petit whether this is on track to being one of the all-time great World Cups. What did you think of Cristiano's performances at this World Cup?
Well, listen, to be honest, take away the performances. I'm just on because I'm annoyed at Gabby for calling him a disgrace, to be honest. I think it's bang out of order. I think what he's done in his career, he's earned the right to be there.
Really?
Absolutely.
Why?
How's he not earned the right? How's he not earned the right? He scored 28 goals last season. He's 41, Gabby.
So?
What age did you retire? What age did you retire?
What age did you start playing professional football yourself, mate? Yeah, pipe down.
Me, mate.
Pipe
Don't
down.
worry about me, mate.
Don't go there, mate, when you haven't kicked the football in your life, okay? Settle down.
Brilliant, mate.
Yeah,
I know what it's
settle
about.
down.
Don't worry about that.
Settle down.
No, you're a disgrace for calling him a disgrace.
No problem.
Honestly,
No,
it's unbelievable.
Look, in fairness, Jack, we stood up for Cristiano. He said he had a wonderful, marvellous career. Nobody earns the right to play at a World Cup finals at 41 just because what you've achieved in the past. No one stops time. And you could see him last night. I mean, he was doddering around in attack. He could not raise a gallop. Time has caught up with him.
Jack still wants him started in the next World Cup as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely right. He's still producing. But there's loads of top... No, I'm saying Messi walks about, but he's still producing at the World Cup, which is fair enough, right?
Yeah.
But to say that he's not earned the right, he hasn't. He is a phenomenon.
But he's not anymore.
41 years of age.
But he's not anymore.
Unbelievable. You know how hard it is to keep yourself in shape.
But he's not anymore.
But
Jack, surely
it's not a modelling competition.
Jack,
it's a
he'd earned the
Get ready to get that winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. This summer, talkSPORT is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of talkSPORT Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
Welcome to Miami.
Good morning, this is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Gabby Agbonlahor, and the 1998 French World Cup winner, Emmanuel Petit. Mike has texted in and said, Ben Nevis plays left back for Walsall, doesn't he?
I'll play him.
Yeah. I don't think he plays for Walsall, though. We're building up to England's massive quarter-final on Saturday in Miami. talkSPORT have got £26,000, by the way, absolutely up for grabs. And it's in cash, and it's tax-free, not too shabby, eh? Is it coming home? Well, it could be for you. If you enter, head to talksportwin.com and do it now for your chance to win that £26,000. Yes, the World Cup took a breather for the day yesterday, but it is back, and it's quarter-final time.
You'll always remember where you were listening. You will always remember what you hear.
Mbappe, 25 yards out! Magnifique! Arise, Kylian Mbappe!
To be here to see that is special.
And Unahi tucks it away, and Morocco are surely going through. Here's the chance, and there's the goal for Spain from Miguel Marino. And Romelu Lukaku, super sub again. A wonderful performance by Belgium.
Harry, your country needs you here. You've got to put this away. Right-footed, he has!
We're in an iconic stadium, and this has been an iconic match.
What a famous day!
Back to Erling Haaland, left-footed shot! He's picked up the corner!
I'm proud of my country.
It is in! It is 2-2! It is Messi! This is the spirit of World Cup winners. So Fernandes! Does it, and Switzerland roll on to their first World Cup quarter-final in 72 years.
Yeah, huge games to come. First quarter-final up tonight, 9 o'clock kick-off. It's France against Morocco. France won 2-0 in the semi-final against Morocco in Qatar. Manu, would you take that again?
Of course, definitely, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you think Morocco have improved since then or not?
Yeah, of course. I think we've seen that the last AFCON, the African Cup. And we still don't know who won that tournament. But they've been, improving. Why? The reason is simple, because this is, I think, a strong message that Morocco have sent to the other African countries, because they have developed, the structure inside the country. They develop, the coaching side as well, and the youth team as well. And I'm not surprised that they are at this level right now, because this is a really strong target from the government.
It explains, doesn't it, why Bouadi has chosen to play for Morocco, not France, because he sees that he's going to get more game time and the structure behind Moroccan football.
Yeah, probably. But I think as well, this is based on family matters.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. I mean, talking of family matters, this is Didier Deschamps' last tournament in charge of France. We know about the sad death of his mum. But does the fact that it's his final tournament, does that help with the bonding of the French team?
Yeah, we saw that. This is probably the first time I see Didier being so close to his players, he's been really good of managing the players for years now. But in terms of relationship with human beings, I've seen so many things, so many strong messages. You said it. He just lost his mother, but Kylian Mbappe took the responsibility, to show empathy, to the manager, through the social media, but as well, I've seen so many videos for the last 2 weeks of the national team having breakfast, dinner, lunch all together outside as well on the training sessions. And Didier was always close to the players, always laughing with them. And there is no difference between the one who are starting in the first 11 or the one that will never get a chance to play.
Yeah.
Do you think Deschamps will be a good replacement for Infantino? FIFA?
Well, do you think that if you change people, that will change the structure of FIFA, the way they think and the way they behave?
No.
So you have the answer.
Yeah. Look, it's a great game to get these quarterfinals underway. That is for rest of the schedule, by the way. Spain against Belgium, 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Norway, England, 10 o'clock on Saturday. Then 2 a.m. Sunday morning is Argentina against Switzerland. Been quite a journey since the World Cup. 48-team World Cup kicked off a month ago. The world's biggest stars have turned up, to say the least. There have been some shocks. There have been a lot of late goals, penalty shootouts, so on and so forth. On Monday, Jamie Carragher wrote on X, been watching the World Cup since 1986 in Mexico. This current one has been the best by a long way so far. Loads of goals, star players on fire. Every few days, there's a new game of the tournament. What do you think, boys? Has it been the best World Cup?
What, in terms of display? Organizations?
I think the whole thing. Use it as one sort of entity.
I really love the stadium. They look amazing. I love sometimes, the environment, the fans, the reactions in the crowd. I'm not really convinced about the quality of display. I'm more convinced about the scenarios of some games, the way it changed so quickly. I'm really happy that all stars are present during this tournament, which is very rare. I'm not convinced about the referee decisions. But in the meantime, I can understand why he said that, because it's the organization. It looks like American organization. So it's all about, fan, business, things like this, so entertainment. But if you ask me just this question based on what I've seen so far on the pitch, is there any just a few games brought me emotions. Most of the time, it's reliable on the stars, all the time, not the way they play, all together.
Recent bias as well, isn't it? People are quick to forget all the World Cups. I mean, fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, I think the fact that the big stars have really turned, really shone, that's been memorable. But for me, the things that have means it's not the greatest World Cup ever is the influence of Donald Trump and Gianni Infantino, the hydration breaks, the fact there are too many teams involved. I know some of them have made an impact, but some of the others, Iraq and Uzbekistan, and then you think, well, what are they doing there with the best will in the world? The treatment of the Iranian team, I felt was
Somalian referee,
some of the refereeing decisions,
the price of the hotel, tickets, everything,
the treatment of fans in terms of the whole pricing system means, to me, there are too many shortcomings for it to be seen as the best ever.
I agree.
I don't know, maybe 86 in Mexico, something like that. 82, whatever, things like that. So we're almost done. England, Norway, you put your English cap on for a moment. Do you think that there's any threat to England?
Yes.
There? Could there be an upset?
Yeah. Ireland is the biggest threat.
Yeah.
But I think set pieces as well.
Yeah.
Because they are tall. Remember, against Brazil, when they were considered a free kick or corner, I saw those tall guys coming up front all the time. And
it's massive, isn't it?
They're really committed, on set pieces.
Let's do this quickly because we haven't got too long. Who are your 4 semi-finalists, Manu?
I think England will win. I think France will win. I think Argentina will win. And the last quarterfinal is
Argentina, Switzerland.
Yeah. Yeah, you've done.
Spain, that's funny because
Spain, Belgium.
Yeah, so Spain will win.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I said that Switzerland will be my surprise during this tournament. So I think they have a slight chance, to win against Argentina.
Who would you rather play in a final? If that happens, would you rather play?
I would love
England?
just because I'm French, you're English. I would love to.
So you can laugh at us.
No. That will be really competitive, and we didn't play well the last few games we played against England. I think we didn't deserve to win, but we did, and I think England was the best team, on the pitch. But that will be a different game. The final, you
not want revenge against Argentina for 4 years ago.
Yeah, it can be a revenge, but that will be entertaining to see between Kylian Mbappe and Messi as well.
Exactly.
Who's your four for the semis, Gabby? Same.
I agree. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't see being straightforward for anybody, but I just think the quality of France, England, Spain, and Argentina will be enough.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm just going to mention my daughter for a moment.
Okay.
So my daughter Olivia, you might have read about her actually in my book. So she completed her degree at Manchester University. She found out yesterday that she got a first. So Olivia, if you listen, no, probably not. I'm a very, very proud dad indeed today. Manu, thanks very much.
Thank you, guys.
Lovely to
It was
see
a
you
pleasure.
again. Gabby, it's been great to see you
all
week long. Don't forget, Sean Dyche, the co-host on Breakfast tomorrow morning from 6. Don't miss that. Hawksby and Jeckers are next.
Trump, who I think I heard say at one stage he didn't know about the red card system, he still suggests
unfair.
That the referee at the heart of this, Rafael Claus, was a bit suspect. He's the president.
These were two great athletes that got tangled up, and this referee, who is a little bit suspect, if you check his past. I don't want to say that because I don't like to create controversy, but very suspect. And he gave him a red card. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't think it meant much. Then I started hearing that means he can't play in the next game, at least in the next game. And I related just that feel. I didn't tell him what to do. I can't tell him what to do, but and I don't believe he made the decision. I think it was a committee that made the decision. All I did was ask for a review. I didn't say you have to do this. This man is a smart, tough man, Gianni Infantino. He's a smart, tough man, and his stock has gone through the roof because the job he's done has been great.
See, now we have the length and breadth of it, right? Now we know the full length and breadth of it, right? So now we know the full length and breadth of it. We can eviscerate it because it deserves evisceration, right? When you listen to that, you think to yourself, it's absurd. But again, it takes me back to the position. And Trump says absurd things, but no one disputes the fact that he says